What's going on, brothers? What is going on? It's your dude, Mr. International Passport, here again for yet another Future Classic live stream. First and foremost, before I go any further in this stream, if you're here, press A1 in the live stream chat. How is my audio? Mayday, Mayday, check 1 2, check 1 2. Mr. Chris, is my audio good on your end?
Yes, loud and clear.
Awesome, awesome. I need the brothers in the channel in the live stream chat to confirm. Ryan Green, thanks for confirming. Any more ones in the live stream chat? Right now is the time. Can y'all hear me? Is it good? Person one, who's here? Who is here? Give me one more one to make sure my audio is good. All right, person one in the live stream chat. Can y'all hear me? Beep, beep, mayday, mayday. Person one in the live stream chat. If you can hear me now, okay, we've got 18 people. Where's the ones? Am I good? Okay, thank you very much, Rico. Awesome. So let's get straight into it, brothers. So we are here for a Future Classic live stream. First and foremost, make sure you join the Patreon. There's an explicit X-rated version. Talk about Belizean woman. Go on the Patreon right now to hear that. Book your IT consultations with me via the Candy link below. Cop the merch. Show some support tonight by hitting the super chats and the PayPal donation. That'd be greatly appreciated. So let's get straight into it, brothers. So today we shall be speaking about life in Belize and Belizean women. I've got a very special guest here with me called Mr. Belizean Chris. How you doing today, Chris?
Great. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic, bro. I'm doing excellent, brother. So, Mr. Chris, over to you. Give us a brief intro about who you are, where you're from, and anything interesting about you, please.
Yes. My name's Chris. I'm Belizean American. Both my parents are from Belize City. I myself born in the United States, but visited Belize when I was a child when my family would take me down there. And I got to go also to Belize as an adult around like the 2019 year, spent some time there. So I have a little bit of a American background as well as a Belizean background. So I know a little bit of the best of both worlds.
Amazing, brother. Amazing. So we've got a Belizean brother who's here to break down Belize in its absolute tea. So let's get straight into it. Let's get straight into it. We're here for another gem of a classic. So, Mr. Chris, right? Break down for me, okay, where in Belize you've been to or stayed in for a bit. I'm guessing Belize City is one of it. Break
Yeah.
it down for us, bro.
Yes, mainly Belize City. I've also got to visit Orange Walk, which is a smaller city as well, and Cayo. Cayo is smaller as well, but it's nice, beautiful city, not too far from Belize City.
Kayo, is that spelled Kaio?
Cayo.
CYO. Okay, awesome, brother. Awesome. So, brother, a first-time traveler to Belize, what city should I go to in your opinion, brother?
I would definitely say a lot of the tourists that visit Belize City go to places like Belmopan, that's the capital of Belize. San Pedro is pretty popular. San Pedro is actually known as the digital nomad part of Belize. They recently opened up a digital nomad visa, so a lot of foreigners are taking advantage of it, but the majority of them go to San Pedro, Belmopan, and another city called Dangriga.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you, brother, for that breakdown. So let's get straight into it, brother. Right. So, accommodation wise, brother, going to Belize, did you stay in a hotel or was it Airbnb? And what's the best option for accommodation wise? Break it down for us, please.
Great question. I stayed at a hotel because I went with my father and he pretty much directed the trip. So normally when I go to other countries, I prefer to stay in the Airbnb, do some research and basically stay in an Airbnb that I know is going to be in a good area. But my father decided, he's more old school. So he wanted to go to a hotel and we stayed at the hotel. Um, the hotels are nice, but the issue I experienced going to the hotels in Belize, specifically when I went to Cayo, and Cayo's near the border by Guatemala. Going to Kyle, we went to a hotel, but the majority of the hotels there close like super early. So I want to say we were looking for hotels around like 8 o'clock or something. It was like right when we came over the Guatemalan border to Belize. The majority of the hotels were closed, like no vacancy, no one there to let us in at all. So it's not like, maybe in the States or in the West, you go to a hotel, they're either open 24 hours or open till 12 midnight or anything like that. Not in Belize. They definitely close way earlier. So it was hard to even find a hotel. And then finally, when we did find one, um, they don't have customer service like you're going to have in the States. And what I mean by that is, for example, you get a hotel, you normally have like Wi-Fi and any other amenities that come with the hotel. We got the hotel, we spoke to the hotel owner, he gave us the keys, gave us the Wi-Fi password, told us where our room would be. But once we left, got into the room, the Wi-Fi did not work at all. And I had to go to the guy and explain to him, hey, the Wi-Fi is not connecting. Do you know why? And normal hotels would probably say, oh, well, let me help you figure it out so that way we can get you connected. The owner was just like, well, hey, yeah, that's the password, and yeah, that should connect. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's not connecting. Can you help me out because I need to use the Wi-Fi? Yeah, I mean that's the code. And so he kind of just left it like, hey, that's what it is. And I had to let him know, like, hey, like, I need service. I mean, I paid for the room. I need the hotel Wi-Fi. So luckily for me, the Wi-Fi ended up connecting maybe like 45 minutes to an hour later. He did explain that they had some issue with the Wi-Fi where sometimes it goes down and comes back up, but it took like a good 45 minutes to an hour for the Wi-Fi to even come back up. So if you're booking a hotel, those are some of the things you're going to face. You're not going to get the 5-star quality service, even if the hotel is nice in a good area. They're not going to be super high in customer service, making sure that you got your Wi-Fi connected and you're good to go. They once they receive your money and they tell you the room, you're kind of pretty much on your own in some of the hotels. So Airbnb might be a little bit better because on Airbnb you have to put like, if it was a good service, 5-star, 4-star, and if it's bad service, they can get kicked off of Airbnb from my understanding. So because of that insurance, I think it might be a little bit better to get an Airbnb. But some of the Airbnbs they have in Belize are going to be like what do they call it? Like the homes they built with the like container homes, for example. A lot of the houses there are built on hardwood. Some of them are even put on like stilts. So a lot of the houses, there'll be an older school like wooden frame home. They are still strong wood, so it's not anything like you're gonna walk in there and step through the floor. It is hardwood and it is like a good structured home, but it isn't going to be like the same type of houses you're usually booking when you're in the States or in the West.
Amazing breakdown. Fantastic, brother. Oh, it's gonna be a classic, bro. Appreciate you, bro.
No
So
problem.
next question for you, brother, right, is in terms of who runs the country of Belize, right? So if I'm not mistaken, Belize is a majority black country, right?
Correct.
But who's in power there? Is it the black Belizeans? Is it the white Belizeans? Is there some sort of shadowy forces? And you know what I'm referring to, brother. Break it down for
Correct.
us, please.
Well, the government is supposed to be in control. The prime minister was Dean Barrow, who's the father of Shine Barrow, the rapper that was involved with like P Diddy and J Lo, a couple years back.
Yeah.
He's actually there now, and I think he's now trying to be a politician and follow his father's footsteps, which is good. But the government is corrupt, and most Belizeans, like from my uncles and older Belizeans I talked to, always would tell me that yeah, the government is corrupt there, the politicians are corrupt. But um, I would say, I mean, the black people are in control, so to speak. But I mean, they do have smaller powers that do have their influence, especially if they have money. So, anyone from the West that's connected to like the prime minister or anything like that, they definitely have higher access. There's a little bit of a culture war in Belize between some Guatemalans and some Belizeans, because Belize was originally part of the land of Guatemala. So a lot of Guatemalans do come over and squat. Plus, they get more opportunities for work in Belize. But from my understanding, there's a little bit of back and forth because some of them do get land, and a lot of the Belizeans are fighting for them to have the land over the Guatemalans, whereas the Guatemalans are saying, well, hey, this was originally our land in the first place. There's not really any fighting from what I've seen. I've just heard that more from older Belizeans. But when I was down there, I mean, Belize City mostly had more Black Belizeans there. When I went to Cayo, Kyle was more mixed. So there you saw more of the more like Guatemalans, you see more Latin Belizeans there. And they showed me a lot of love. I was actually talking to my mother on the phone like in the middle of the street at night, and a bunch of Guatemalans came down, and they're going to a club that was down the street from me, and they put their arm around me. It was like, hey brother, and they're talking to me in Spanish, and I'm talking to them back because I know some Spanish. And they're like, yeah, let's go to the club and everything. I'm like, yeah, yeah, I'll follow you guys. Yeah, yeah, I'm on the phone right now, but I'll follow you guys. But I mean, that's, how positive and friendly they were. They're like, hey brother, come on down, because I had a Belizean shirt. So they saw me as another Belizean. They're like, hey, come on to the club, we're going down. I'm like, yeah brother, I'll see you guys down there. So people were friendly, but of course you do have, some that are a little bit more rude. Not rude in a mean way, but just the way they might come across speaking might sound more harsh, if that makes sense.
Yes, indeed, it does. So you're saying that black people, black men specifically, have power in Belize.
Correct, correct, correct. Because, like I said, the prime minister himself is black. They do have a lot of other politicians that he works with as well. I don't know the full extent of it, but yeah, black people, they do have power there. There is some soft racism, but it's more in the sense of like, you know, maybe someone might not want you to date their daughter because they think, oh, he's too dark or something like that. You got to think about your kids. They say things like that to their daughters. So that is something you can experience, but it's more in the dating sense, not so much like in the working sense or getting property or anything like that.
But do you know what, right? I think when we get to the dating part, right, and the
Mhm.
racism part, I may touch upon it a bit more because I remember a couple of years ago, right, I met a Belize chick, right, in the UK, and
Mhm.
I thought we hit it off. I thought she liked me and I liked her, and when I asked her out, she kind of pushed back, and obviously, I go on her social media profile, bro. I see her likes a bunch of white boys. I'm like, what the flip is this, bruv? That's
Yes.
why.
Yes.
That's why
It's
she.
common.
It's common, right? And we'll get to that because I'm thinking, we were vibing. Like, why aren't you going on a date with me? We were definitely chilling, making jokes. I remember she looking at me from afar, and I asked her out, and she pushed back. And I go on her profile, just a bunch of white dudes she's liking. I'm like, what's going on here? But
Mhm.
we'll get there, bro. We'll get there very soon. So next question for you, brother, right, is so as Western black men, I'm a UK black man, you're
Mhm.
an American black man, okay?
Mhm.
How do we get treated there, brother, as Western black men in Belize by the local Belize people? Break it down.
Good question. I mean, depending how the person carries themselves, I mean, you can still get respect. They'll definitely know you're not from there once you walk into a bar or something like that. They'll definitely see like, okay, this isn't somebody we've seen before. Where's this person from? Um, they'll treat you with respect, but I would say you still have to be cautious because Belize City itself does have crime. And that's the place that, if you're going to get robbed, you're more likely to get robbed in Belize City. I know Belizeans that retired and moved down there and had a beautiful home, and the whole house get robbed, when they come back to Belize from, serving in the military in the United States or being in the United States for years and going back, they get robbed, within weeks, like their whole home. So as a black American going down there, you'll get love, you'll get respect. Nobody would treat you like different or anything. But there is still a slight prejudice because the stereotypes that might come across from maybe like a Black American. They might think, oh, this guy might be a thug or something like that. So they will be a little standoffish at first, unless you're having a conversation with them, get to know them a little bit better. um then the wall might come down a little bit, but there still will be a thing where they'll be like, okay, this is a foreigner, this guy isn't from Belize. He's foreign, and he might bring some of the stereotypes we heard on TV about Black people from America, or Black people from the UK, or Black people from any country that you might be coming from. They can have those stereotypes and treat you like that, um, if you're not careful. Especially like if you're going there to, let's say, like do business, like maybe buy land or something like that. It is a thing where they might treat you a little bit different until they kind of see like, okay, he's a normal person, he's a cool, respectful person with class, but they can still keep that wall up, so to speak, because you're foreign.
Amazing. Okay, brother. Thank you very much. So, brother, you say overall it's a positive experience as a Western black man, but there's just a bit iffy parts there when it gets to know you.
Correct, especially with, not all, definitely not all, but a lot of lighter Belizeans. There is a little bit of a prejudice because they're always told like they're the pretty ones because they're lighter or more mixed looking, versus the darker ones. Like I said, they might tell their daughters, hey, well, you gotta think about your children, and things like like things like that kind of sound messed up, but they will tell their daughters that. There is a thing like, if they think the person is too dark, they might say something, and this is even darker Belizeans might say something like that. So that's how much it is kind of in the culture that, light or dark, they'll still kind of make those comments. But I mean, for the most part, I would say if someone was from the West but lighter, they're definitely not really going to get too much negative of an experience, because they're going to be considered, oh, pretty, or they're from the West, they might have money, blah blah blah. But a darker person can get a little bit of prejudice. Like, even when I told you the story of going to that hotel, the man that was the owner of the hotel was like, he was like an Asian Belizean. Like, he looks like he was I believe he actually, no, I'm sorry, he may not have been Asian, he might have been Mayan, because there's a lot of Mayans that have those features. But like, the whole way he was talking to me when I'm asking him like politely, like, hey, do you think you could help me out with the Wi-Fi because it's not connecting? I'm following your directions. And he was still like, yeah, no, I mean, just try in a couple of minutes. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, I gave you the code, like, it should work a little bit. And I'm trying to be as positive as possible, because I'm in a foreign country. I'm trying to be nice, and I don't want to have a negative experience. I just want to get the Wi-Fi on. But he kind of just acted like, hey, yeah, whatever. Like, like, I think if it was somebody else that looked maybe different, they would have got a
Mm.
different experience. But with me, he was just like, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, like, he offered no help at all.
Are you a dark skinned brother?
Yes, I'm dark skinned.
Okay, wow.
Hmm.
Wow, okay, brother, this is going to be a great breakdown.
Yes.
So, next question for you, brother, right, is in terms of investments, brother. So you spent some time in Belize
Hmm.
as passport bros, not only aspiring to be in IT or already being in IT, we're looking at investments, but we're thinking big here,
Yes.
But what kind of business opportunities are there, investment opportunities, sorry, that we can take advantage of in Belize, in your opinion?
Yes, definitely. Getting land, and you can work with builders there to build on your land, and Airbnb. So there are a lot of investors that have been going to Belize, getting land, building a property on the land, and renting it out Airbnb. I've seen some investors I was looking at last year, excuse me, that built container homes. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. It's like the containers, like shipping containers that you might see on TV, that they pack up and ship things from country to country. There's a movement now where they're taking those containers, cleaning it up, uh, putting in like drywalls in there, and cutting out windows and making them into homes. So they'll put like two or three containers together, um, open it up so that way you have like a living room area, you have a room area, you have bathrooms, and they're renting them out. I've seen like 2, 3 story container homes that builders have been building, and then they rent them all out on Airbnb. So I've seen that with the container homes. There's also we have a group there called the Mennonites. the Mennonites, I believe they're from like uh I want to say Canada. They're more European, but they kind of look like what's the word? The type of if I'm am I allowed to say the word that starts with the J ends with an S?
Um, uh, they're from a certain country in the Middle East that's going through a war at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I believe they're connected. They look like they dress like them, so to speak, like with a big tall black hat, long black jacket, long black pants. But you'll know a Mennonite when you see them because, like I said, they're of European descent. They're dressed the way they're dressed. You're like, okay, this person might be from from like you said the Middle East type of situation, but you'll definitely know them when you see them because I heard about them, read about them before I went to Belize as an adult, and when I went down there as an adult, I'm like, okay, there's a Mennonite. But the Mennonites are known for like they built refrigerators. I believe they brought a lot of technology to Belize back in the days, so they're known for building some wooden homes. So a lot of investors get with them when they buy land, and then the Mennonites will help them get like wooden homes. They'll help them put on the property, and those are supposed to be considered pretty cheap as far as purchasing and getting them put on the property. And from my understanding, I've talked to people like, hey, like what happens if a hurricane comes? And from what they're saying is like as long as it's not too close to the water itself and it's put in the ground right, people are saying they haven't really had any issues with those type of homes. So a lot of people are either getting land and putting those homes there, they can or container homes, or they're working with builders themselves. And a lot of builders, you can pay them while they're building their property. So instead of paying everything up front, if you get a good relationship with them, you can put a down payment and work with them. Paying week by week or month by month, whatever arrangement you have to keep building the property until it's completely done, and then of course then you can rent it out. And as far as paying builders and things like that, the Belize dollar, $1 American is $2 Belize. So if you're going there from the United States and let's say you're spending $5,000, it's $10,000 there in Belize.
Interesting, brother. So looking at these Mennonites on Google, right,
Mm-hmm.
it appears that brother, they have a lot of power there in Belize.
Yeah.
Are they running the country secretly, brother, in the background? Like, brother, keep it slack, brother.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, I think that could be possible. I mean, as far as when I speak to my relatives, because my uncle went to school with Dean Barrow, so he knew a little bit of the politics stuff there. But my uncle passed last year, like 6 7 months ago. But from when he was alive, and he would tell me like certain things in Belize as far as getting property and things like that. The Mennonites do have some power, but I do believe it's like you said, like more in the background. And I believe the power they have is as far as like the resorts that are in Belize, those big structural homes that are being built. They definitely are getting access to build those things. I worked in real estate around the early, well, I want to say like 2010 to 2015, and an investor I met here. I'm in the US, but I met a guy here that was an investor, and he had property in Belize, and he's like, wait, you're Belizean? He's like, well, I got a bunch of resorts I'm building in Belize and everything. And that guy was related to Mennonites. So I do know they do have power as far as they're getting land and they're building big properties, not just your average home. They're building big businesses and buildings on the land that they're getting. So they do have some power because they've been in Belize for a long time, and they're responsible for a lot of the technology and things that were brought to Belize back in the older years. So I do believe they have some definitely some power and some pull there.
wow, so sounds like a particular. It sounds like a particular group of people. I won't say their names, brothers. Do your own research. So next question for you, brother, is so brother, people, right?
Mhm.
Tell me more about Belize people. Are Belize people extroverts? Are they introverts? Are they kind people? Are they nasty people? Give us the true breakdown as to the personality of the average Belizean person, please.
Great question. A lot of Belizeans are more introverts. Belizeans are definitely known for being more conservative. So they do like to party, when they're around like, friends and loved ones and such, but uh they do have the wall up, until they really get to know you. Like if you're someone that they just met, they are friendly in a sense. Like if you go there, they'll be friendly, hospitable, and everything. But in the sense of customer service, like dealing with them with business, you can definitely get a harder attitude, so to speak. When you're going to a restaurant or something, you're not going to get the hi, welcome to such and such, welcome here, how can we help you type thing. They're going to be like, hi, how can I help you, like not really smiling or too friendly. It's not saying that they're not friendly, but they're not going to be smiling and super bubbly, so to speak. So Belizean people are great people. We're strong people. We have a great history, but because it's a harder way of living. A lot of Belizeans grew up living off the land. If you wanted to get chicken, you better find it. You go outside, find a chicken, kill the chicken. Take off the feathers, do all the things you need to do to serve the chicken to your family. If a lot of people wanted to go get fish, they used to have a guy that would go out and throw a big net in the water, catch a bunch of fish, bring it back to the shore, and then everyone would go to him to buy the fish from him or pick the fish from him. So that way they have fish for their family. So a lot of people kind of grow up living off the land, so to speak. So because it's a harder way of living, that's why they're probably not taught like, hey, like, you can smile and be more friendly, but they will be respectful. They will be nice in the sense and friendly in the sense of, hey, nice to meet you, but they're not going to be real bubbly, smiling type of thing.
Amazing, amazing intel so far. So, next question for you, next brother, is now in terms of how do you meet people and make friends in Belize, brother? Want to know, is having a social circle very important? If so, how do you build that social circle? But more in terms of how do you meet people on a regular basis and form connections there?
Yeah. When I was down there in 2019, I met a lot of people there that were pretty cool. We struck conversation, and I could definitely see it would be a situation where you could build off of that and build a connection. So people there will talk to you, especially if they see like this person looks different, or some people might want to sell you something. I had a brother that tried to sell me a drink made of what was it? It was like sea moss and condensed milk. It actually ended up being like a great drink that gave me a lot of energy and strength. And I'm like, wow, like I need this if I go back to the States. I feel strong just from drinking this. And the gentleman was selling it to us, but we ended up talking to him more. He ended up telling us, like how long he's been in Belize, things like that. So people will come up and speak to you. It's not going to be hard to strike conversation with anybody, but of course you do have to do your due diligence and make sure, okay, is this a person just being nice to be friendly? Is this a person that's looking to see, oh, there's a foreigner, let me see if I can make money off of him, get him to buy something, or even maybe, more sinister, trying to rob you? People will be friendly. I went to a few bars when I was out there as well. Um, and people were pretty friendly in the bars, but there were a lot of people that did kind of stick to their own group. So I definitely saw that, like, okay, there are people that will kind of stick to their own group, and then, if you talk and you're friendly, like people speak and be more friendly. So it's kind of like they'll, like, if you go into somewhere like an establishment with a lot of people, um, people will probably look at you and wonder like, okay, who is this person? But if you speak to them like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, this beautiful restaurant, and make small talk, they will build off of that and be friendly. So they'll kind of be more of an introvert until you maybe introduce yourself, let them know who you are, and then of course then they'll open up and then be more friendly to you, and offer you things or tell you more about Belize. But of course, if you're in somewhere like Belize City, that's where, like I said, you'll have to do your due diligence because you want to make sure it's not, someone trying to do some type of crime or anything like that. Um, Even when I went to Belize, I'm sorry, to Cayo, the people there were super friendly. I went to a couple places and people were pretty nice as far as when I spoke to them. They were friendly, but of course, when I went in there, no one spoke to me at all. They kind of had the wall up until I more spoke and started a conversation, and they built on the conversation from there. So you can definitely make friends in Belize if if you're an extrovert, you know how to talk to people, and definitely keep a central class about you where they don't think you're somebody a thug that's a thug from the US or anything like that. But you can definitely meet people from things like that. Also, like if you play soccer, they do have like different group times where people go out there and play like soccer against each other. So you can always go there and say, "Hey, I'd like to play soccer with you guys," and they'll bring you in on the team, and can meet people from there. So the wall will kind of be up because they don't know you, but once they speak to you, you can definitely meet some people and make some friends, I would say.
Brother, I've noticed you mentioned American gangster stuff, right? Is there
Mhm.
like is American media quite huge there and prevalent in Belize? And would you say Belize people taking a lot of American media and how black men are portrayed in American media? And we know it's very negative.
Yes, well, it's kind of a mix because it's a little bit of course, like hip hop media, but also there. What kind of hurt Belize is there were a lot of younger Belizean men that came to the states, like New York, L.A.
Mm,
A lot of Belizeans go to L.A. too, and got into the gang culture, or went to a neighborhood that was around gangs, and they got involved in the gang culture, and then let's say they did a crime or something, and they got arrested because they're Belizean, they get deported. So they get deported and kicked out of the United States. But these brothers have been bringing the gang culture from LA or from New York back to Belize. So I have seen that there some people that have started trying to gang bang, like like the Crips and Bloods and things like that, because the guys were gang banging or got with the gang in the U.S. came to Belize and try to bring it to Belize, like, okay, this is what we're doing, and get their brothers or people that are around them to get involved in it. It's not something that's getting super big from my understanding, but it's been growing because there have been a lot of Belizeans or Belize Americans from the States that end up getting in trouble and getting sent back to Belize, and then trying to bring that culture to Belize and then build the crime off of that. Right now, Shine Barrel, because he's trying to go into politics, he's supposed to be down there trying to speak to the youth to tell them, okay, I did all that. I was in New York. You saw I served 10 years. And I'm a better man. You can be a better man too. And this is what we need to push in Belize and get the youth into a more positive place, so to speak. But the only thing is, some Belizean youth are looking at Shine like, well, hey, you can't tell me anything. You were in the US this whole time, and you just now coming back to Belize. So you can't
mm.
tell me nothing. So that's the kind of issue where some are looking at it like, well, you can't really tell us anything if you were in the States this whole time and then now you're coming back here. And they're going by what they're told from either the Belizeans that got deported coming back to Belize, or from what they're seeing in hip hop and stuff on TV.
I don't even think Shine can even go back to America again, right? Isn't he got deported after his time in
Hmm.
America?
Exactly.
Is that true? Yeah,
That's
he
true.
can't. Yeah,
He can't
can't
come
go back
back.
to America anymore. Yeah, and I remember that stuff, like the nightclub stuff, which is tragic, obviously.
Hmm.
So next question for you, brother, is in terms of transportation, brother. So when we're in Belize, how does a passport bro move around, brother? Is it subway? Is it bus? Is it Uber? What's the best way to move around, brother, in your opinion?
Yes. Now, when I was there, I didn't get to use Uber or anything. From If I remember correctly, I didn't have like internet connection, so I couldn't even look at Uber. But I don't think they have Uber there. Maybe things have changed now, but they didn't have Uber at the time. So it was really taxis and the local bus. Um, the bus can take you to like different cities. Like we took the bus from Belize City to Cayo, so it's pretty cool because you can see different places while you're driving. It'll take you through Orange Walk and different cities, depending on where you're trying to go. The only thing, like when I rode the public transportation on the bus, the first destination when we went to Belize City, it was fine, it was pretty chill. Second time coming back, they kind of had like some weird guy sat next to me, and he ended up being like on cocaine or something, and ended up being like wild and talking wild and crazy. And I had to look at the guy and tell him like, "Hey, dude, I'm not playing. You're too loud. You're getting aggressive," because he kind of was like hitting me on the arm, trying to talk to me. I'm like, "Dude, you're doing too much. I'm not playing with you." And I kind of had to let him know, like, I'm not joking with you. You better calm down, or else it's going to be an issue. Even though I don't want to have an issue because I'm in a foreign country, I still had to let him know, like, I'm not playing with you because you're obviously on drugs. You're doing some wild stuff. Calm down, you know. But then after that, the guy kind of calmed down and he started talking to himself, like, "Oh my God, what did I do? What have I get myself involved in?" I'm like, he was talking to himself and was kind of crazy. And he was like yelling at women before that and everything until I calmed him down. But that was really the only incident I really had on the public transportation with the bus. Besides that, people, get on the bus, they might sit next to you, but they'll be quiet, they'll be chill. Everyone was pretty chill going to Belize City, and when I left Belize City going to Cayo, both bus rides were pretty chill, except that time leaving Belize City to Cayo and the guy getting kind of wild. But that was the only incident. Everyone else, male and female, were pretty chill on the bus, pretty friendly, saying hello, things like that. Um, Taxis are pretty cool. We even had a taxi that we paid to take us to a specific spot. But then my father was like, "Well, hey, I want my son to see, where I went to college at, and I want him to see where his mother went to school." So the guy was able to like do a U-turn and go around like in a certain area so we can see like the schools and everything before we went back to our destination. Other countries, they're not doing that. They might say like, "No, you only paid to go from here to there. That's all I'm doing." The guy actually was cool. Was like, "Okay, yeah, no problem," and drove around so we can see the school my dad graduated from, and the school my mother graduated from, before we went directly to our destination. So mainly, I've seen either taxi cabs or the bus. But I think they might also have car rentals there as well. So I think you can also rent a car while you're down there. But those are the three transportations I've seen. I haven't seen Uber when I was down there.
Amazing, brother. Awesome. So now, brother, in terms of food,
Mhm.
do you tell us more about Belize food? Is Belize food tasty? Is it good? And what's your favorite Belizean cuisine? Break it down for us, please.
Yes. Um, if you like Mexican food, you'll definitely love Belizean food because we're highly influenced food wise by Mexico. I even spoke to a woman from Cancun the other day, and she told me how she went to Belize, and I asked her like, "Did you find the food pretty similar?" And she's like, "Yeah, I was surprised. Like the food was just like the stuff we eat in Mexico." We're big on empanadas and tamales. Most Belizeans, because we have different groups of Belizeans there, a lot of Belizeans will, instead of calling it empanadas, they'll just call it panadas. But it's different from empanadas from Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic in the sense, if you get an empanada from like Puerto Rico, they make it with flour. In Central America, period, everything is corn, corn, corn. Guatemala is about corn. Belize is about corn. Every country I've been to in Central America and people that I know from countries of Central America, we all are big on corn. So tostadas is a common dish. Like my mother will make tostadas with beans and like lettuce, tomato, and that'll be a common dish at home. The empanadas we have is made from corn. So we'll have it made of corn on the outside, but on the inside, if you ate a empanada from like Puerto Rico, they might have cheese inside, they'll have chicken, they'll have beef. Belizean empanadas mostly have tuna. I'm sorry, tuna. So we mainly eat it with tuna, and then they'll serve it with like onion sauce. So they'll have like two onions on top, and then you can pour the onion juice on top of the panada and eat it like that. If they're not having it with tuna, they're having it with bacalao, which is salt fish. So it's mainly like fish that they'll have in there from either tuna or the salt fish in the panada. Tamales is the biggest thing for us though. Um, to the point like in December, family members will get together and say, "Hey, I know somebody cooking tamales." It's all putting orders, and it's a common thing. Like we get super excited about tamales. Um, put in orders from whoever we know that make it. Even now, my mother will still find someone that sells tamales and put in the order to buy tamales from them. And the tamales is made of same thing like corn on the outside, It'll have like a tomato sauce inside. They'll have usually chicken on the inside with olives, but or some don't have meat at all. Some will just have like the tomato sauce, olives on the inside, and then the cornmeal on the outside. And then it's always wrapped in a green leaf. So that's how you'll see it, because it'll be in foil, and then when you take off the foil, you'll then see the green like banana leaf wrapped around it, and then you have to unwrap it with the green banana leaf, and then underneath that you have the actual tamales. And it's
Amazing.
usually it's big. It's not like you might go into a store in the West and see tamales, and it's like maybe the size of your palm. The tamales in Belize will be like the size of like your whole hand, like from your fingers to like the bottom of your hand. So it's bigger, and it can usually fill you up with eating like one or two at the most.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. So next question for you, brother, is now in
Mhm.
terms of cost of living. So when it comes to cost of living, brother, when you compare Belize cost of living to American cost of living, bro, which is cheaper, which is more expensive? Break it down for us, please.
Yes, definitely Belize is cheaper, cost of living wise. For one, like I said, your dollar is going to be stronger out there. Even if you're from the U.S., it's going to be double. Um, and then there's not a lot of inflation in Belize, so to speak. Now, I'm not sure about right now, but actually, like my mother has a friend that just went there last week with her daughter, and they're looking at purchasing some land right now themselves. And I believe they're staying with like the son and the sister-in-law who moved down there also from the US. So them, as well as my brother's wife, she's also Belizean, and she just recently had to convince her parents, who were renting in like a 55 and up senior home, to move back to Belize to save money, because it was way more expensive here in the United States. We're in Florida. It's way more expensive for them here versus in Belize. So she finally got them to go back to Belize, I think about 6 months ago, and now they're there, and it's way cheaper for them living there in Belize versus here in the US. And they're living off of their pension. So
Amazing, amazing, brother. Flipping heck.
mhm.
Oh, this is sounding very good, brother. So next question for you now, brother, is now in terms of safety, brother. So safety in the nighttime, during clubbing, daytime, being by yourself, brother. Is Belize a safe country for a black man, brother? Or are there some danger issues there? Break it down for us, bro.
Yeah, I would say yes for the most part, because like I said, I'm a dark skinned black male, and when we first went over the border, we got there at night, and I went there with my father and his wife at the time, and they're older, so once we got there, we got to the hotel, and they just wanted to rest. I'm like, hey, this is my time to go out and enjoy Belize. Like we finally got over here. Let me go out. So I went out by myself, and I went to the first day I went to, I want to say one bar before it closed, because we did get there kind of late. And, I chilled there. I talked to some people at the bar there, got a drink or two and watched the game on TV. And, no one bothered me. Some people were friendly. Like, hey, how you doing? Blah, 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 that type of thing. But nothing crazy. And I did see like some girls leaving drunk, where one girl kind of like fell out, and like the girls had to like pick her up, and like security had to help the girl up and get her to her car. But nothing violent. I didn't see anything other than like, I think those girls I just mentioned, I think maybe one of them like yelled at the other one, and they got a little bit of an argument, but it was just like they knew each other. The next day after that, when we went to Cayo, I went to two different bars, and both bars went by myself. And one I chilled in there, I want to say like maybe an hour or so. Another one I went in, and I just saw everyone kind of look at me, and I looked at people, and I got a drink, but I'm like, well, I don't see any girls in here that I'm interested in, and people keep kind of looking at me. But I'm like, I don't really see anybody like any girls I want to talk to. The other place had better girls, so no one bothered me, no one messed with me, anything negative. Um, and then even when I left there, I actually went out in the street and walked through some of the neighborhoods by myself on my cell phone, talking to my mother, letting her know, hey, I'm in Belize, and telling her like, things I'm seeing. And this was at night. This was like maybe 10, somewhere around maybe like 10:30 or something like that, I want to say. Or yeah, I want to say 10:30, close to 11 or something. And I'm walking around the neighborhoods, and I'm hearing people playing reggaeton in their houses. And I'm walking through neighborhoods. No one was really outside or nothing like that though, but I went walking down the street, all the way until I got back to where the club was at, where I was originally at, talking on the cell phone with my mother. And like I said, when some people did come out, they put their arm around me and was talking to me like, hey, Vang Aki, brother, like telling me to come with them to the club. And I'm just like, no, 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 like the sports, like later, like I'm on the phone or whatever with my mom. So they were friendly. And I seen the other people that I passed by when I was on the phone, and no one bothered me. But I'm the type of person, I do kind of keep my third eye open, where like I look around and make sure I know my surroundings, make sure no one's following me, no one's looking at me or staring at me or nothing like that. So I did make sure that like I'm watching my surroundings, but no one bothered me, no one came up trying to rob me. And I passed by different men, either like I'm walking by myself, passing by a guy walking by himself, or passing by a couple, or passing by different people. And nobody really gave me the impression that they were going to try to hurt me, rob me, steal from me, or anything like that. So, but that was in Cayo. That was in Cayo, near the border. Belize City, I don't know if I would have got the same thing, just because I've heard different stories of people getting robbed, but more so home invasions, or what I heard in Belize City. So I heard there's crime. I do know, like, I think I've heard of people getting shot in Belize City, but I believe there were more maybe situations where, okay, somebody knew somebody, they had a personal issue, and that's why they shot the person. I haven't heard of anything like random shootings or random robberies, unless they know, hey, this is somebody with a bunch of money in their house and they just left, and they're an older person that probably doesn't have a lot of security, or something like that. But nothing as far as like in the States, where you're walking and some guy walks up behind you and tells you to give you his money. Not saying that is impossible, but I didn't see that in either city, especially not in Kyle.
Okay, so but on a scale to 100, right? Uh, how dangerous is Belize out of 100? Is it 80%? Is it 20%, 10% in your personal opinion?
Like 100 being the most dangerous and one being the least dangerous.
As yeah, 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 yes, yes, facts, yes.
I would
Or, may,
say,
or
I
maybe
would
1 to 10,
say,
if that's easier for you, 1 to 10.
yeah, 1 to 10. On a scale from 1 to 10, I would say maybe, about 4 or 5, because I didn't feel in danger anytime I was there. And because like there's not a lot of like places that are open when it's late. um I don't think you'd have a lot of danger, because most places close pretty early, so you can't even really be out till like 2 3 in the morning, like in the US. So because of that, places closing early, and they do have like some security at the places you might go to. I didn't feel any danger. The only danger I've ever heard of are more like home invasions, because even when we were in Belize City, this was more in the daytime. We went to the house that my grandfather grew up in, where his brother lived in. So I got to meet my oldest relative, which was like my grand uncle, I guess. And when we left his house, we're walking through the neighborhoods, and we were passing like groups of people in front of the house. Like there was one time there were like 5 guys, 5 to 7 guys, like all in front of our house, like some coming in and out and some just standing there. And my dad is an older man and his wife is older, and they had backpacks on. So I'm like, these guys are gonna know we're tourists, because like we're 3 people walking through the alley with backpacks, but no one said anything to us, no one bothered us, no one gave us any issue. And I want to say like 2 or 3 different groups of people, like all men, not men and women, like all like 5 to 7 dudes, like in front of a house. We passed by, but no one gave us any issue. No one was like, "Hey, where you guys from?" or nothing like that. Like they did their own thing, and we walked by doing our own thing. And like I said, we have backpacks on, so they can see, hey, these are probably tourists that are not from here, and they might have stuff in their bags. But no one gave us any issue or anything like that. Um, so I think for the most part, if you carry yourself, especially as a black male, and you're just walking, no one's really going to give you any issue. Maybe if you look like maybe more European and like you don't know where you are and that you look like you have a bunch of money, maybe. But honestly, I didn't see that at all. I didn't see that. So I wouldn't say it's dangerous at all. I would only say it's dangerous if you're living there, or yeah, if you're living there and people know where you live and they know you're not from there and they know you have a bunch of things in your house that are worth money, then I would say there would be some issues possibly because you could get maybe a home invasion or something like that. But walking around, no one's really coming up to you and trying to cause trouble unless you're looking like you have a bunch of jewelry or something.
Thank you, brother. So, brother, now racism, brother. Um, is Belize a racist country? Are the people there racist, brother? You're a dark-skinned black man. What is your experience there as a dark-skinned Belizean black man in terms of racism, colorism? Break it down for us, please, bro.
Yes. I wouldn't say racism, but there is some colorism. There's definitely some of that. For the most part, you won't see it because there are a lot of dark skinned Belizeans, there are mixed Belizeans, and for the most part, it is a melting pot of Mayans, Africans, different people there from African descent. But there is a little bit, like I said, if there could be some people with their parents that might say, oh well, he's dark, like he's super dark, look out for think about your children if you have children with this person, and they still might be nice to you, but they just might tell their daughter like, whoa, hey, think about that, like what I'm saying, he's really dark, or why'd you bring this dark skinned man here or something like that. That can happen. But even if that happened and you stuck with the girl and maybe got to talk to the parents, you could always win them over. But there is still maybe like the initial like, who's this guy? Like, I don't know, he's real black. You sure you want to be with this black guy or something like that? So there is some colorism there. I won't say there's a lot, but there is some there. There definitely is some there. Um, like for the most part, we have two different African groups. We have the Creole and we have the Garifuna. The Creole are the Belizeans that they know Spanish, but they also know Creole, which is like a broken English, so to speak. It sounds a little bit similar to like Jamaican patois, but the words are different. But if you heard it, you would think like they're talking patois, like Jamaican patois. The other group, the Garifuna, they're African. A lot of them have like strict Spanish last names. They speak Spanish. They speak Creole, and they also speak their own African dialect that they kept from, I guess, years from them being from Africa originally. So the Garif, they're pretty popular in Honduras, Belize, and I want to say Nicaragua. I think Nicaragua is the other country they're from, but they're big in Central America. So, but the Garif and the Creole we look very similar. I have both in my family, so you're not really gonna know who's who. The only thing is, the Garif, a lot of them dress in a certain way where the way they dress, you might be like, okay, this person's Garif. The best way I can describe how they dress, not all of them dress like this, but a lot of them dress like this would be like more African, or like maybe someone that they might look like someone that does like voodoo or something like that, because they might have like beads and a lot of different things that are extravagant that they wear. A lot of them live closer to the sea. Like from my understanding, anytime a Garifuna lives in like Belize, Honduras, or any country they go to, they mostly like to live by the sea, and they mostly eat fish. So they're pretty popular in Belize, as well as like I said, the Creole, the Mennonites, and the Mayans. There's not really discrimination between the African groups and the Mayans or anything like that. Slight colorism you might experience here and there, but not a lot. Um, but as far as like the more European ones, I didn't see a lot of them when I was in Belize, besides seeing like a Mennonite or two walking down the street. But I can't really say so much as far as like Europeans that are down there. Europeans that are visiting, of course they're going to be great and friendly and everything, but the ones living there, I think they're friendly, so to speak, for the most part. It's only really the colorism you might experience here and there with certain people, but it's not super strong. It's more, like I said, if you're trying to date someone's daughter or she brings you home to her parents, they might make a smart comment to her. they may or may not say anything to you. You may experience like, hey, her mom seems kind of like standoffish with me a little bit, or something like that. That is a possibility, but it's not all of them. So I mean, you can meet some people that are lighter, that are friendly, they love you just like you're one of them. But there are some that you can experience that with, because like I said, when I went to that hotel, I kind of felt that with that owner, like the way he was so dismissive and not friendly and not trying to help me, even though we paid for the room, and we're his customers. He still didn't even care about like helping me out at all, and just like shoot me off like I was nobody. So it's kind of a blend, but for the most part, people are pretty good, I'd say.
What about racial slurs, N-word use in Spanish or the English N-word use? Did you hear that at all in your time in Belize?
No, no, I didn't really hear that. I mean, let me think. I believe on the bus when I had that crazy guy sitting next to me, I think I did hear him say something like that, but like more in a slang, so to speak, like like maybe to himself or just like singing a song or something like that.
Was he
So
black?
yeah, he was black. Yeah, he was black. So
So,
mhm.
go on.
So if you hear, it might be someone repeating something they heard from like hip hop, but for the most part, they don't really use it. Um, I I do know some may use it in the sense of if they're talking about a black American that's really ghetto, that can be used from another dark. It'll be from another dark skinned Belizean, of course, but it would be used in the sense of describing that, hey, this is a person that's like, like ignorant, like they don't have no class, they don't have no work ethic type of thing, to describe someone, but not heavy, like not in a racist way, more so than describing like another type of black person you don't really want to deal with because he has no class type of way.
So let me ask this right. So obviously the Spanish word negro, right,
Hmm.
means black, but obviously in the
Yes.
West, right, it's a slur. So did you is that used that word negro to describe a black person, or is another word people use in Belize to describe a black person, bro? And keep it a stack, please.
Yeah, not really, because when they're talking about a black person, they're usually going to be talking about someone that's either Creole or Garif. So when I've seen it, I've only seen people use those terms when they're talking about someone black, because we're not really called black there. We're called either Creole or like I said, if you're Garif, they call you Garif. It's more here in America where we're known as black people, but we were known as Creole. So I haven't heard Negro used. I don't think I've ever heard any Belizean really use the word Negro, from my understanding. Not even that I've, and not I'm not just speaking of like my relatives, but even parties we've been to with other Belizeans and other get-togethers with Belizeans. I don't think I've ever even heard Negro really used. I've only heard that used by Americans.
Okay, awesome, bro. So, brother, next question for you, brother, is culture. So, I want to know more about Belize culture, brother.
Mhm.
Is Belize a conservative culture, or is it a liberal culture, or is it in the middle of both of them, brother? Break it down for us and tell us why it's that way.
Definitely more conservative. There's more Christianity in Belize, as well as I believe there's a strong uh the other religion where like they kind of use like the 6 point star, that's there as well.
What?
Yeah, yeah, because
In
Shine,
Belize?
I don't know if you know Shine, when he got out of jail, he's saying that that's what he is now. He's saying he's that religion. Um, and he even got, I don't know if he still has it, but he even had the thing where the hat and like the curly hair on the sides and everything. Um,
Flipping.
yeah, and
So,
he,
so
mhm.
that's quite strong there, that religion in Belize.
From what I hear, I haven't seen any black um Belizeans of that religion other than Shine, but from even when Shine was being asked about it, he was saying that it was in his family from Belize and everything. So I heard of it from him and from other things that when people are like, yeah, he's telling the truth. But as far as every Belizean I ever met, it's more Christian. I haven't even seen any Belizeans that are Muslim. There's also some Belizeans that are more into Obia, which is more like like stuff with the land, or maybe, how do I want to describe it a little bit? Like how, like maybe like Haitians would describe like voodoo, but they consider it like, living off the earth, living with like plants and things like that. Those are the two religions I've known of in Belize, but it's mainly Christianity. But they're not playing with homosexuality like that. I even met a family that's
Keep it
close with
coded,
my
yeah.
mother. Huh?
Keep it coded.
Oh,
Keep it coded.
sorry, sorry,
But
sorry.
carry on.
Yeah,
Coded,
I
please.
even yeah, sorry about that. I even met a family where they had a family member, like these were Belizeans too, but they moved to the US, and so my mother knew them from church, and they had, I think, at least I think their daughter was, into that alternative lifestyle, but even she didn't even say it. Like we could kind of tell this by looking at her and like how she dressed, but it wasn't even anything she ever spoke about because it's so not accepted in the culture that she couldn't even like talk about it. So maybe here in the US I think she would be able to do that, but in Belize I don't think she'd be able to do that. They're not really big on that at all. They're very conservative. If you even came there with that type of stuff, they would probably like maybe be accepting if you're one person saying this is who you are, but if you're like, if they're trying to push like how in the West where they're pushing it like, hey, everyone needs to be like this, no, that's not happening in Belize.
Oh,
Even when
shout out to
even
Belize. Got carry on, bro.
yeah, like even when the the pandemic first started, there were some people that they were like, maybe like there was nobody in Belize catching it, but then like I want to say like two Belizean Americans went down there and ended up dying from it, and they put out a whole thing online on like Belizean social media letting people know like, hey, all you Belizean Americans, don't come down here with that. Like if you have that disease or if you're sick, do not come down here. We're good. We don't have no pandemic out here. Belize is strong. We're doing good. Do not come out here. Any of you Belize Americans, stay where you are. Stay in America. Do not come down here spreading anything if you think you're sick. So they made it that big of a thing, like for all people to spread to other Belizeans, like, hey, don't come down here with any sickness. We've been good. We've been keeping our country good where no one's getting sick, no one's caught nothing. But if you guys keep coming down here, you're going to spread it down here. So stay yourself back in the States and don't come down here until you feel healthy. So they're very big on the minute somebody does something that's messing with the culture or going to affect the culture of the people, they'll be big on causing an uproar like, oh no, you're not going to do that. We're going to tell everybody we know. We're going to tell them to tell their family in the States so they know. We'll go on social media for people to know. We're not playing that out here at all. So they're really strong on like if you're trying to bring some outside influence to the country, they're not playing that. They're definitely going to stand against it and do their best to fight against it.
Interesting. So let me ask this then. So how strong is American culture in Belize, or Western culture? Is that overpowering there, or is Belize culture more powerful than Western culture?
Definitely Belize culture is stronger. Belizeans have pride. They have a pride where, they want to stick to their culture, and it's a good and bad thing because it's good in the sense where they, like I said, will stand up for their culture if someone brings something that's counter to it or that could cause problems, but it's also bad in the sense because they'll only do things one specific way. And even if you say, well, hey, there's a better way to do this, there's a faster way to do this, you can make more money doing it this other way, they will not play with it at all because they're only going to go the way they know. They're more cautious on the way you're telling them because they don't know it. They might think it might be a scam or it's not going to work, or they'll shut it down immediately like, nah, that's not going to work. And it's like, no, I'm telling you, this is a proven way that can help you better than the way you're doing. But they'll prefer to still do things the way that they taught because that's their pride and what they grew up on and what they know. So they'd rather continue doing what they know, even if it might now be old school or harder versus like the new way to do things because that's the way that they know. I've even met a Belizean girl here years ago that I dated for a short time, and she told me her grandparents said they would never come to the United States because it's a white man's country. And I was like, really? I'm like,
Damn.
yeah. And I didn't know what they meant by that because I was like younger. And then when I got older, I'm like, okay, I can kind of see what they're saying. And I've even met people that said like, "Oh, you're from Belize? Yeah, there was a girl here that was working here too." And then like she left after 2 weeks and said she didn't want to work so hard. She'd rather just go back on to Belize and live off the land. So like like there are some Belizeans that come here and they're like, yeah, I don't like the US, I'm going back. You know, and I have seen a lot of older Belizeans because the economy moving back to Belize, you know, because the cost of living is cheaper and you know that's they already know the culture from what they grew up in.
Amazing, brother. Amazing intel so far. So next question for you, brother, is so as passport bros who may decide to move to Belize or remote work there, brother,
Mhm.
how what kind of lifestyle would passport bros live there, brother, in your opinion? Would it be a high classy lifestyle? Would it be a normal lifestyle? What kind of lifestyle would a passport bro live in Belize?
It definitely would be, I would say, like a tropical lifestyle. You know, right now they have a digital nomad visa, I believe, for 6 months. So that's pretty cool. You can, I think, you can stay out there for like half the year, 6 months. Um, I don't think there's a lot of requirements for it because they definitely want to bring people down to Belize. And the research I did on it was saying that there are a lot of digital nomads that go to San Pedro. In San Pedro, I believe they have that's by the beach. So people do a lot of snorkeling down there. You can go there, you know, get drinks, and they're big on fish. So you'll get like a lot of fish food, nachos, corn stuff, like I said, Mexican dishes. And you could definitely live a fun lifestyle in the sense if you go down there and you're working and then you're not too far from the water, and I believe San Pedro has a lot of tourists that come there from like the UK, other parts of Europe, some from the West. I mean, from the United States, so to speak. So you can have definitely fun, especially if you're going to like somewhere by the water, because like I said, you can swim, snorkel. You know, good liquor that's not expensive, good food, seafood as well, and of course you can meet women there. I even tried using Tinder International to see the other day, like, hey, what would it be like if I go back to Belize and you know see if I meet any women out there? And there were a bunch of different type of women I saw in Belize on Tinder. You know, there were of course a lot of you know European people, women there that were like, "Hey, I'm visiting," or in Belize visiting, and would like to meet people, or I just moved to Belize and would like to meet some people. But for the most part, you know, it's a good mix of you know African women or Latin women, Indian, Mayan women that you'll see there on the apps. So you can have fun, you know, going down there. And I would recommend, I mean, you don't have to stay the 6 months, but yeah, if you're working remotely, you can go there for a month, get a decent price Airbnb. You can still do a hotel. You might have better experiences than I do if you go in the daytime. I think mine was bad because we went at night and the guy knew he was like the only hotel open. But you know, if you book in advance and everything, get a good hotel not too far from the water or Airbnb, I definitely think you could.
Hello, Mayday. Check one two. Check one two. Oh, the brother dropped off. Flipping heck, bruv. Classic stream. Can we get the likes up, please? What about super chats and PayPal donations? I've been streaming for 7 days in a row, brothers. 8 days in a row. Show some support, please. Yeah. Hit the super chat. Hit the PayPal donations. If you have any questions, hit the super chat or PayPal, please. Show me some support. That'd be greatly appreciated. During the Patreon, cop the merch. We're here with a new country for y'all, brothers, man. Please show me some support, man. I'm out here at 1:30 a.m. in the UK streaming for you brothers, bruv. And I got work at 7:30 a.m. in the morning, bruv. Come on, brothers, man. Come on, brothers, man. Support, please. I got work at 7:30 a.m. Let me reach out to the brother real quick. What's going on with his internet? See, Keisha, bruv. Flipping Keisha. Damn it, Keisha. Where is it? You dropped off. Can you hear me? Press the one in the chat if you can hear me. We ain't even got to the woman part, bro. I'm waiting for the woman part. I want to know if they're checking for bros. I want to know if they're checking for bros. You know, that's what it's all about, bruv. Yeah, are they checking for brothers? Shout out to Mr. Uh, um, Billingsley Meister for the support. Thank you, bro. Salute to you, bruv. Support. Keep up the great work. Thank you, brother, for the kind words, man. I appreciate you, bro. That means a lot to me, man. Right? That means a lot to me. Thank you so very much, man. Appreciate it, bro. We got work to do, man. We got work to do. Let's go. Let's go. Appreciate you, bro. Where's the brother? Oh man, we'll get into the good part. What's going on with the bro? Flipping heck, man. Where's the brother? I'm thinking his phone battery may have died. Let's give it a couple minutes, man. Let's wait for the bro. We ain't even at the woman part yet, man. We're not even near the woman part. Oh man. But how's everyone's day going so far? It's a, it's a beautiful Wednesday morning over here in the UK. 1:26 a.m. in the morning. This is I've been streaming for consecutive days right now, giving y'all brothers that real intel to help you get out the matrix, right? To be yourself, to understand that get into IT, right? Book your IT consultations with me. Join the Patreon, right? Be a part of the international passport ecosystem. And I know a few of y'all. Sorry, what? A few of y'all. A few of you are new. I mean, okay. Some of y'all are new, bruv. So join the Patreon, bruv. Okay. There's a Patreon, for y'all to, be involved in. Book your IT consultation. Check out the link tree in the description box. Where's the bro though? Where's bro at? Let me reach out to him real quick again. Okay, hold on, brothers. Yeah, I think he's yeah, I think his phone may have died, Damn. All right, let's give him 5 more minutes, man. How about we chop it up? Let's chop up, man. IP here. He gonna freestyle this stream. So obviously, brothers, press a one in the live stream chat if you watch the Thailand streams over the past couple of days. Um, you know, okay, the brother's here. The brother, okay, he's doing something. Okay, yeah, okay, he's coming soon. He's coming back. Yeah, no freestyling today. No freestyling. Okay, let's carry on pushing forward. Um, you know, this is awesome, man. Brothers, make sure you follow me on Kick and Twitch. Right, I'm going to be streaming there exclusively on Twitch, on Kick and Twitch. I'm going to speak about some real topics. Dark Ronin, can you post my Kick and Twitch links, brother, in the chat and my Rumble link? Follow me on Rumble, follow me on Twitch, and follow me on Kick. I'm gonna speak that real stuff about Black culture, about traveling, foreign women, things that we can't speak on about on YouTube. That will be on Twitch, Kick, and Rumble. Okay, follow me on those platform, brothers. Okay, Mr. Chris is back in the building. Yo, Chris, Keisha, get to you, bro. Keisha.
I never. I think so. I think she cut my signal. I'm so sorry
Oh
about that.
man, no worries, brother. So, brother, in regards to lifestyle, right? What kind of lifestyle does the average Belizean live there, brother? In your opinion?
It depends because there are Belizeans that will work, like maybe work at the bank, maybe have a business there. But there's also some Belizeans that will just live off the land. Excuse me. So like I've met some Belizeans, like in my family that, you know, have businesses in Belize or might have
like maybe investments, and they like rent out properties or things like that. So I've seen those type of Belizeans, but I've also seen Belizeans that just have like their property built on their land. Their family all lives in the property, and they more live off the land. You know, they might go fishing to get fish for food, or raise chickens, and live off eating the chickens or the eggs and such like that, and live off the land, or get coconuts and sell coconuts and stuff like that. So it really is a mix, but from what I've seen and what I've been told from my uncles, it really depends on the ambition of the person. So there are some people that say, yeah, they have no ambition. They just chose to keep living in Belize and not really work or anything like that. Whereas there's other ones that do work or might sell stuff for income. But most people there live pretty chill, conservative, and more or into like, having fun and just living life. Pretty simple.
Amazing, amazing, brother. So another next question for you, brother, is now language. So what kind of language, brother, do we speak out there in Belize? Is English enough, or do we have to learn Spanish?
English will be enough. English will be enough. Depending where you go, there will be some people that might speak more Spanish, but for the most part, people know English. I did go to some bars where it was strictly more Spanish, where everyone there only spoke Spanish. But down the street, there's another bar where people all speak English. But you can survive there only speaking English. You don't need to learn Spanish to go there. For the most part, you'll meet everyone that only speaks English, but it just might be maybe here and there. Maybe you might get a taxi cab driver that doesn't speak English, or maybe you might go to a certain restaurant or bar or something like that. But you'll see when you're there that, hey, it looks way more Latin here, whereas other ones might have more of a mixed crowd. And the mixed crowd ones are the ones where it's definitely more English. But navigating the country, you're fine just knowing English.
Amazing, brother. Amazing. So next question for you, brother, is weather. So the weather in Belize, but as you know, in the UK, weather is pretty bad. It's cold 8 months of the year, rainy, etc., etc. What about the weather in Belize, brother? Is it normally hot on average, or is it hot and cold in some seasons? Break it down for us, bro.
Yes, definitely hot year round. They don't really have any cold seasons. They'll have, maybe some months where they might have stronger winds, but not even strong winds like how in the US or in the West we might experience with like a cool wind where you got to keep a jacket. It's pretty much hot all year round. So, I mean, definitely don't go there with any like starter jackets or any like wool jackets or anything like that. It's definitely a tropical country where you're going to be wearing short sleeve, for the most part. Sometimes at night it can get cool, especially if you're closer to the water and like the wind is coming up. So maybe a light jacket, I would say at the most, but that's really it. Like even when I saw a Mennonite walking with like a big jacket and long sleeve pants, I was thinking this guy has to be hot. He has to be sweating, you know. But for the most part, it's more tropical. At the most, I would say maybe bring a light jacket for if it's ever like a windy day or something like that, and you get cold easily. But it's going to be tropical year round.
Amazing, amazing, brother. So, last question before I go on to the woman part, brother,
Mhm.
is brother, I'm an IT bro. I'm not sure if you're an IT bro too. We've got
Yeah,
other IT bros. You're an IT bro as well?
yeah.
Oh,
I-
awesome,
I'm
brother.
I'm a,
Fantastic.
I'm a certified Scrum Master.
Amazing, brother. So obviously, brother, remote working is big. Obviously, brother, in my space, brothers. That's why I say book an IT consultation with me to get some IT advice there.
Definitely.
Brother, what's the IT? So, what's the remote working? Actually, no, I already answered that. But I want to know about internet speeds. But I want to know about infrastructure, right, needed to remote work over there in Belize, brother. Can Belize offer me great internet speeds, right? And can it offer me an environment to remote work there in Belize?
Good question. I haven't seen anything as far as like a hub, like a digital nomad hub, where like they have a building with high Wi-Fi or anything like that. From what I've seen, They may have built that now just because they recently came out with the digital nomad visa last year. And it's getting pretty popular with a lot of people from the West going down there, to work remotely and party in Belize or live in Belize for a couple months. So they do have decent internet speeds, from my understanding, for work. When I was in Cayo, once I was able to work with the Wi-Fi and everything, my internet speed was pretty decent from my memory. I didn't have any issue with it working too slow or anything like that. So you can get decent internet speeds. I haven't looked up recently to see like the average speed that they're getting, but I do know, like, when I went down there with my laptop doing like normal stuff, I wasn't working when I went down there, but just using it for like regular stuff, I didn't have any issues with the speed.
Amazing, fantastic, brother. So that's the first part there in regards to overall Belize. Now, brother, it's time for the woman part, brother. So, Mr. Chris, right? I'm going to ask you a very important question, and this question, Chris, is probably the most important question in the history of mankind, brother. Okay.
Yes.
This question here, brother, is so important and so powerful and so potent. It can turn water into wine and wine into water, brother.
Okay.
Brother, a question so pure, brother, and a question so crisp and elegant, it can allow mankind to walk on water like Christ did in the Bible, brother. Brother, a question so powerful and protective, it can stop a meteorite from destroying planet Earth, brother.
Okay.
Brother, a question so powerful, brother, that it emits seismic waves that cause tsunamis and volcano eruptions, brother. That's how powerful this question is, brother. Okay. The question for you right now, Mr. Chris, is: are the women in Belize checking heavy for black? Oh my goodness. Sorry, bro. Are the women in Belize, brother, checking heavy for black men and passport, bro? Break it down, for me, brother.
I'll definitely say 100%. 100%. Because for one, I mean, you're already going to be a man with, substance. You're coming from the West, so you definitely have some type of money, some type of career. So definitely some type of class about you to bring to the table that they'll look at it as. They definitely do like black men. They definitely do like brothers out there. I mean, it's no matter if you have, a shortcut or you come there with dreads or anything like that. Either one, you can still get a Belizean woman out there. They are looking for men, definitely. You will see that. You can definitely go somewhere and you'll see women checking you out just from you walking in there. Whether you're dark skin or light skin, you can definitely get women out there. They are looking for brothers out there.
Oh, brother, is that across all races of women? Dark skinned black women, light skinned black women, mixed race black women, white Belizean chicks, perhaps Asian Belizean chicks, brother? Is across the whole racial spectrum, brother? Are they all checking for brothers?
I would say for the most part, it's only the ones that are more on the Mayan side, where depending on their family and how their parents think from like the older school or older way of thinking, where maybe they could, maybe say something smart, like I mentioned earlier, depending on your skin tone. Excuse me. But the women are still checking for you. If you look like a man of shape, like you're not super heavyweight, you're in decent shape, you take care of yourself, you go out there and have some class about you, you can definitely get women checking for you all across the board, whether it's a white Belizean that moved there and has been there for years, the darker ones, the Garif, the Creole, the Mayans. For the most part, I would say all across the board, they are open to looking for brothers. Because even when I went to Belize City, I walked around with my father and his wife, and there were women, like giving me smiles and things like that. And there was someone I got to speak with while like we were passing. So I would say yes, but there are some that will have a little bit of an attitude, and it'll be a little bit harder to break to talk. So it really just depends on the girl, but I would say all across the board of how they look, those groups of women are all open to black men.
Amazing, amazing, brother. So, what is it about brothers that they like, right? But I'm assuming you mean when they like black men, they're like Belize black men and also like Western black men, right? So, what is it about Western black men that they like? So, you mentioned obviously we have more money, you know, we're Western, but is there something else? Is it the skin? Is it the media? Why are they drawn to Western black men?
Well, Western black men are more looked at on the positive side, as they're gonna look at you as, strong, you might be athletic, you might have some swag to you. They definitely gonna it's mainly the swag they're gonna like, that they look for. So if they think, oh, he's strong, you got some swag, uh, you got resources, you're definitely get a guy that can provide. All those things they're gonna be open to, they're gonna love. The only issue I ever hear is when they think you're ghetto, or if they think you're going to be like some type of thug type of thing. Then they'll say all type of things like, oh no, girl, don't deal with him, blah 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 type of stuff. But for the most part, they're looking for men because I don't know, a lot of Belizean men that I know of came to the States. Even my brother, when he went to Belize last time, he told me like a lot of the Creole people that are from our family are now in the U.S. So a lot of Belizean men came to the U.S. looking for work, because they know they can work and then retire and move back to Belize, and their dollar is going to double in Belize. So a lot of Belizean men leave, whether it's for money opportunity, to meet different women, different opportunities, come to the West, if they're ambitious. So they're going to look at the American man as, okay, he's ambitious, he got swag, he can carry himself, he's classy, he can be a provider and provide a good future. It's only in the sense of if they think you're ghetto, a thug, or something like that, where they're more going to give you issues, from what I've seen.
Amazing, amazing, brother. Incredible. So, um, my next question to you, brother, is so, but when it comes to looks, right? So the woman that I dealt with, that sorry, I didn't deal with, but I was speaking with in the UK that was Belizean. She was gorgeous, brother. Gorgeous, peanut butter skin, black chick. Oh Lord, oh, that peanut butter skin. So, brother, when it comes to looks, right? On average, are Belizean women good looking in Belize, brother? If so, what are the best physical features in your opinion?
The best physical features will be beautiful hair. A lot of them have beautiful hair, beautiful skin complexion, like you mentioned. Whether they're dark skin, brown skin, light skin. A lot of them have a clean skin complexion. We're big on using like aloe vera. So, like if you have acne, they're going to be quick to tell you to put aloe vera on it to clear up the acne. So a lot of people do live off of using like bush, like how do I want to say that? Like herbal teas, like whether they're sick or they just need to get a cleansing out, they'll drink like Cena or Cersei to clean our system. So the women usually, from what I've always seen, have beautiful skin, whether it's just a pretty complexion or clean skin. One thing I will be honest about, a lot of Belizean women do not have big butts. So if you're a guy that's looking for like, Sir Mix-a-Lot, a big rear end, they're not really known for that. I don't really think I've ever seen a Belizean woman with that. Maybe a little bit, but there's a lot that will have like I'm talking about like a wall in the back, like flat. Even if they're thicker, they might still have like a wall versus like a plump, voluptuous, rear end. So they're more known, and that's kind of big in Central America. Period. I've seen a lot of women in Central America, whether they're Mayan or of the African ones in Central America, because a lot of them are mixed with the Mayan too and African. A lot of that I've seen, they do not have the rear end at all. So if you're a guy that's like, hey, I'm more into that versus like top heavy, I prefer bottom heavy, there's not a lot of bottom heavy women you're going to find out there. Maybe you might see some here and there, but it's definitely not what they're known for, and it's definitely not but most of them have. They more will be better on the pretty face, pretty hair, pretty skin, and maybe top heavy.
But okay. Yeah, and facially very, very beautiful, right? Facially.
Yes, yeah, the faces are beautiful. Yes.
So that's interesting, brother. So they got the almost complete package physically, right? However, in your opinion, brother, are Belize women wifey, brother? If so, what makes them wifey? If not, what makes them not wifey? Break it down for us, brother. Are Belize chicks wifey or not?
Yeah. For the most part, and remember, I'm someone that I could go down there, get land, probably live where like my family was living by, and it would be perfect to go down there and get good property, live there remotely, working there. My American dollar be strong, and then continue my Belizean heritage. Having more Belizean kids out there. But I mean, if you're looking for like soft, feminine, not wanting to argue type of woman, I wouldn't really recommend it for that.
Oh,
I would say for fun, yeah, go there for fun. But I mean, if you're looking for a soft woman for wifey and you want someone that's like real sweet, soft, feminine, I wouldn't recommend that. They can be sweet in the sense of being nice, but you will have a lot of arguing, debating, quarreling at times for maybe something stupid. I don't consider a Belize woman as someone that would follow her man, so to speak. I mean, maybe in a sense, like for the public to see, but once you're home, I don't see that happening. Once you're home, it could be a lot of arguing over something completely stupid. Um, I wouldn't say it for wife, like, I mean, it depends because there's some men that say they want a challenge or they want a woman that's going to kind of like, not just be easygoing and give them something to like fight back with or something. Some men like that, I've heard. If you're a guy like that, then hey, yeah, you can go down there and you'll definitely probably find a decent girl. For the most part, I don't think they're the type to cheat a lot because I have seen a lot of the older school Belizean women that, when they're with their husband, they're with their husband. And even if the husband is out like dating other women, they may know about it and they're still not going to leave. They'll still stay at the home and take care of the home and the kids and entertain the the relatives that come by of the husband, and never do anything, never divorce the husband, never leave the husband, even though they and everyone know the husband has other women. I have seen that. So they are, from what I've seen, good at being loyal to their husband and not cheating, so to speak. But it is going to be a harder woman in certain issues, whether, like I said, it's a disagreement over something dumb, or you can't really get her to follow your lead in something that you guys want to do, or that you think would be a good idea. Maybe you can get her along your what you're telling her to do, but it could be a lot of arguing to get her to that, or a lot of debating to get her to that, to get her mind to finally understand, where you're trying to go. So it just depends on the type of woman you want, but there are a lot of them that are going to be arguing and speaking back over stupid stuff and quarreling. But like I said, the good part is not a lot of them are the type to cheat or be with a lot of people, because like even if a Belizean woman cheated here, by the time her family finds out, they'll let people in Belize know. So people in Belize and in the US will all know that this person cheated on their husband, and they'll kind of shame them. So because a lot of people know, like, hey, like, not only will my whole family know about this here, they'll let people in the States know that they're Belizean. People that don't even know me will know that I did this stuff and everything. So a lot of people know to be more conservative, because that's the culture, to be more conservative, but also it is more shame because everyone's going to know your business. I know the business of relatives I haven't even met ever, and I know detailed parts of their life and things that they messed up in, and the consequences they paid for their actions and everything. And I didn't even meet the relative ever, but I know all his personal business because that's how the news travels. And this will be, like I said, a person in Belize, but I'll know all their detailed information here in the US of something that they did.
Okay, so hold on. Shout out to Mr. Brobot for the support. Thank you, bro. I've been to Belize many times. The women are beautiful and diverse beyond belief. If you make friends there, they never forget you and learn your Creole. Interesting, brother.
I agree.
Brobot, send me a DM on IG, brother. Let's touch base. Want to definitely hear about your experience in Belize, brother. And if you want to come on the channel and share your experience, brother, the platform's open towards you for you. Okay, so brother, so interesting there. So, brother, are you telling me that Belize chicks, right, they are not submissive and feminine?
N- Comparing it to like a Colombian woman or like even a Puerto Rican woman, not in that sense, no. And I want to break it down the right way. Like, I'm not saying like they're hardcore and mean or anything like that. They can be sweet, they can be friendly. If you're in Belize right now and said hello to a woman, then she'll be, hi, how are you? She will be sweet and friendly, meeting her. But dating longer term, that's the situations I've seen where they can become a little bit more difficult, like not as easy to get on your page. You might have to do a lot of arguing to get them onto that. But excuse me, if you are a provider and she doesn't really have a lot of outside influence, it could go decent in the sense of like if you can get her on your page, but there still can always be like that arguing or talk back type of thing that happens. I even seen some situations where some men were working, they're providers, but maybe they got with a Belizean woman that has 2 or 3 kids, and the woman treats him nice, she talks to him nice, she massages him and everything, treats him well, but she's also making sure he's paying for her kids, college tuition, he's paying for like the bills for the kids and things like that. So if you are providing for them financially and giving the woman what she wants, they can treat you good. But if you're not doing all that, or let's say maybe you're not the 100% provider, you can be dealing with a lot of arguments, or her not getting on your page, or your family not liking her because they may realize the woman's taking advantage of you. You might feel like, hey, she treats me well, she's a good wife, but you may not see like, okay, she might be using you for certain things. So I say that to say they can treat you well for the most part if you're, keeping them happy. But when they're mad, they're very mad. Like, you'll definitely feel their rage. Your kids will feel their rage. So they do have a temper. So it's more so, like I said, if you're dating them, they could be cool, they could be sweet, but that might be the representative that you're dealing with. Versus when you get long term, you might have more things to deal with. And like I said, they could be fixed by maybe if you're like, hey, I'm just gonna have to pay for everything and provide for everything. But if you're not doing that 100%, there could be issues where she might give you a headache.
So, how did Belize women become like this, or have they always been like that? Is that ingrained in the culture, or would you say Western culture slipped in there and turned those women into the monsters that I'm hearing right now? Not monsters, but the monster attitude, all that stuff, right? How did they
Yeah.
become like that, brother? What's going on?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's from the West. I definitely wouldn't say it, because I mean, like, I even seen a picture recently of like my great great grandmother for the first time. And even in the picture, she had like a hard look, like she just looked mean. And I'm like, wow, like, why does she look so mean? And it, like I said, this is like my great great grandmother. And I'm like, wow. But I honestly believe it's because, it's a harder way of living, especially in the older years with less technology. They're living off the land. Some people would have to go to other people's houses to like wash clothes to make money and survive. Some people will make the tamales, like I mentioned to you, or Johnny cake, or different foods, and then have to sell it to people and then make money from selling the food. And there are situations where even some women might have their daughters or their sons doing this. So some Belizeans didn't grow up with the childhood because growing up, you know, after school, you got to go help your mom sell food, or you got to help your mom wash clothes, or you got to pick up clothes from your neighbor, and they might feel a certain way from their classmates knowing, hey, you're washing our clothes, or you wash people's clothes and things like that to make money. So because a lot of the women there have lived harder lives, that's more the sense of why a lot of them do have a harder texture to them, like as far as like their personality. Now, I believe some of that can be fixed if you show her like another way of life, but it goes back to what I mentioned about the Belizean pride thing, where some might be so stuck in the ways that they learned, and that was their way of surviving. So they're not going to be quick to like consider your way of living as the right way, because they're like, hey, I know this way, and this is the one way I know, and I know this way works, and this is how I survive. I don't know about that. I've never heard about that, so I'm not even going to try it. I only know what I know. I'm going to go by what I know. I'm not going to do anything else that I don't know. And then that can be difficult for you if you're like, well, I understand where you're coming from, but I have an easier way to handle a situation, and it'll be better for us, honey. It'll be less expensive. You could get kickback from her if she feels like, hey, I don't know what that option is. I only know this way of handling things, and I'm not really comfortable doing anything else, so I'm not going to do anything else. So that's where you guys can kind of have a situation of bumping heads. But it's really more so not, I wouldn't say Western influence at all, because like I said, this was my great grandmother, and both of my grandmothers were kind of the same way as well. But it's because they had a harder way of living. One of my grandmothers had like 9 kids that she was raising on her own, because my grandfather was a police officer, but he would go drinking a lot, he would gamble a lot and everything, and messing with other women. So my grandmother held down the house and making sure the kids had food and things like that. So her having that harder way of life, I can understand why she had a harder attitude. She was still loving. I loved her. She was a great woman, super sweet, because she was my grandmother, but she wasn't nice to other people at all. I definitely saw her tell off people. She even told off like her daughter-in-laws a lot. She had a harder exterior, but it was because she was protecting her family and wanted to make sure, hey, no one's saying they have my son's child and then they're lying and it's another man's child type of thing. So she did always have like a meaner exterior with outside people, but once you got to know her, she would be like your best friend, super sweet to you, super kind to you. So it's kind of like you kind of have to get through a certain wall with some of them. They'll be friendly and sweet in the beginning, but once you hit that wall, when you can tell they're being tough, if you can break through that wall, it'll be your best friend. It'll be someone that has your back. Won't really screw you over or anything like that. But you're going to kind of have to get through that wall and prove that you're an ally and you're not somebody that's going to like give them any issue, if that makes sense.
Awesome. Yes, indeed, brother. So let me ask this, right? So tell me more about body count. Obviously, most men want a virgin woman, or at the very least, a low body count chick. Would you say, brother, women on average in Belize have a high body count? And keep your stat, brother.
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say if you want a woman with a low body count in Belize, your best bet is to get a woman from like a woman that goes to church. Because if she goes to church, she has something to stop her from like doing a lot of crazy stuff. And then she might have family members also have those values that won't let her go do crazy stuff because they'll hold her accountable to it. But if it's a woman that just likes to party all the time, every weekend she goes out partying, getting, blacked out drunk, sometimes with her friends, I would say that woman has a high body count. Those women out there have a higher body count, but not as high as the US. Because the US, you have more access to different people. A woman in the US will have a way higher body count than a woman from Belize because there's less people she'll have access to, one. Two, a lot of the people in Belize know each other because it's a smaller country. So especially like in a certain city, a lot of people will know each other or went to school together or their parents went to school together. Because like I said, I've never met Shine, but my uncles and my dad went to school with his dad, who's a prime minister, So they all kind of know each other. So anything you do, the news is going to kind of spread. So that's why it can kind of keep some women to have a lower body count, because they know, if Tom knows you slept with so and so, or you slept with Tom, he's going to tell other people, and then other people going to know you're sleeping with Tom. So if you're sleeping with Tom and John and Jack, everyone's going to know that, okay, you're sleeping with different men and everything, and it's going to be in a short period of time that information is going to be spread. So I can't really say as far as how high of a body count I would expect for most of them, but definitely if you're coming from the West, it will be lower, just because, one, like I said, they don't have access. There's not as many people there as there are here. Two, they have certain conservative values there, where people will talk very bad about you and put you into shame if they know you're doing something like that. And like I said, her family might want to make sure she's not doing anything crazy, because if she does, everyone in the town and in other places will all know that your daughter is sleeping around and chasing man, and everyone will know about it, and it'll make your family look bad.
So let me ask this, right? So let's say, right, there's a passport, right? He's very interested in Belize, right? Where should he go to? What cities, or what city should he go to find a good woman, a good church woman, low body count, potential virgin? Is it, obviously she won't be at church every day, right? So
Yeah.
how are you going to meet her? So would that be like at parks? Would that be for a friend? Would that be at wine tasting? How would you meet a good woman, brother, with proper values in Belize right now in 2024? What city? What functions? Break it down for us, bro, in your opinion.
Yeah, in my opinion, I would definitely check out San Pedro, because that's the digital nomad capital right now in Belize. So that's supposed to be where there's going to be a lot of people there, as far as like if you're doing remote work. And like I said, the digital nomad visa, from what I'm understanding, is for 6 months. So even if you want to spend a month there, you know, to see if you like Belize and get a feel of the culture, I would suggest that first. But again, that's probably going to be more party town, meeting girls that are visiting from other countries as well, or girls that just want to go there to party. I like when I went to Cayo, and I believe Belmopan too, because Belmopan is the capital. If you go there and go to like maybe a church there, on a Sunday or something like that, and let them know, hey, I'm Christian, I just wanted to come, I'm visiting, I definitely want to come for the service. They'll definitely be kind of let you come in and sit. And then after the service, you can talk to women there and introduce yourself. So, hi, I'm so and so. I'm visiting from the U.S. and I wanted to, come and visit the church while I'm here and get a good word and everything. And you can strike conversation with women there. I would definitely say that if you're looking more for woman, wifey material, low body count, and the most conservative that you can get in the country, I would definitely suggest that. I don't know if they have things like wine tastings or anything big like that. They may possibly have it now, because like I said, last time I went was 2019. It's a possibility, but not really, because they're not really big on stuff like that. And if they do have stuff like that, it would be smaller and more with like maybe people that came from other countries. I don't think like any natural Belizeans would more be at things like that. They're more going to be at like the sporting events, like the soccer games, the bars. I'm trying to think what else. I think sometimes the banks have certain things where like they're getting people to like try to sign up with the bank. So if they have like maybe events like that out there, you can go there to meet different people. But I would say if I was going there right now, I would definitely go to like a church in like Belmopan, Cayo, PG, which is Punta Gorda. Punta Gorda is supposed to have some of the most beautiful women there as well. My mother wants me to go there and meet a girl from PG and get married. But the women from Punta Gorda, they're the more lighter Belizeans with the beautiful curly hair. There's supposed to be a lot of them there in Punta Gorda and Belmopan. And then, like I said, Cayo had a good amount of them there as well. So I would definitely say San Pedro first to get the feel of it, because that's a digital nomad spot. You'll meet other people from other countries, so you can kind of get a feel of the country, but still have a little bit of the Western sense because there's people that are visiting just like you. And then once you feel pretty comfortable with everything there, and you like, hey, I want to expand more and more look for like maybe more conservative women and get more of the Belize feel, then I would say Belmopan or Cayo or Punta Gorda.
Amazing breakdown, brother. Did you say you've been to Puerto Rico before?
Yes, yeah, I've been to San Juan.
Oh, okay. Is that something you can give intel for the channel in the
Yeah,
future,
yeah,
Puerto Rico?
yeah.
Fantastic, brother.
I've traveled a lot. I just came from Dominican Republic 2 weeks ago. I was there for like 3 weeks. I've been to Brazil. What is it? Sao Paulo, Brazil. Yeah, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Guatemala, because my dad wanted me to like marry a Guatemalan. I've been to a couple of these countries. So yeah, Central America, I definitely can speak about. Oh, Costa Rica too, I've been to. So definitely from Central America, Colombia, I've been to 3 times as well. So a little bit of South America and definitely Puerto Rico.
Brother, yeah, let's do Puerto Rico next, brother. I'll reach out to you separately, brother, privately, get that done ASAP, brother. So next question for you, brother, right, is in regards to Guatemala. So you've mentioned that Guatemalan women are obviously in Belize. So, brother, when you compare ethnic Belize chicks, brother, to Guatemala chicks, would you say Guatemala chicks, brother, are more wifey than Belizean chicks? And is that what possible should be going after, in your opinion, in Belize?
Yeah, I definitely say a lot of them are more wifey. My father was married to a Guatemalan woman for I think 15 years, about 13, 15 years. He lived down there in Guatemala as well for that time. He got land out there. He built a farm out there. So he was living out there for pretty decent time, and that's why he wanted me to marry a Guatemalan girl as well. So the women out there are pretty decent. Like beautiful. Like even the woman he wanted me to marry, like not only was her face beautiful, she had long black hair down to her butt. And she was thick. Like her body was stacked. Like if you're into like women that have like, thick thighs, butt, and full body, I definitely saw that in Guatemala. And that's why I was so like, hey, I definitely think I might marry this girl. But of course, I mean, you have to do your due diligence, like of the girl and like her crowd who she hangs out with. But definitely Guatemala does have some pretty good women out there. My father was living like a king because he had like certain Mayan women out there that were like needing work, would come, and he would hire them basically to like clean the house for cheap. And I remember when I went down there, like the women were sweeping up the house. They're helping with the farm animals. They cooked our breakfast and our food. So they cooked like every morning I woke up, they had, like the corn tortillas, beans, different food ready for us for breakfast. They had different food for us for dinner as well. But they served both. I didn't have to clean up my plate. They would take my plate, they cleaned everything for me. What else with the women there from cooking? Oh, when I was down there, it was actually around Thanksgiving. And of course that's an American holiday, but they learned about it from like seeing about it on TV and everything. And the women my dad hired, like I said, he's not even paying them a lot of money per day. They cooked the whole entire Thanksgiving food for us. I mean, they had like turkey. They didn't have stuff like in America, like like stuffing or nothing like that, but they had like turkey, and then they gave us like beans, like different dishes to have. But they served not just me, my father, and his wife, but they invited people from the village down the street that my father knew, and they came, and we had like a full Thanksgiving with a bunch of people, and those women cooked everything for us. And they were all nice, and like I said, they cleaned up everything. They cleaned up the whole house. They swept everything. They cleaned the kitchen, and like I said, they made us breakfast every morning, lunch, dinner, and everything. So the women there are definitely good at cooking. A lot of them have long, beautiful black hair. You're going to get a mix of either Mayan Guatemalans or like more like whiter Latinas. I didn't see any black people there, and like me and my dad were like the only black people in that town Whereas like we went to like a what would you call like what would you call it like the super like not the supermarket but basically like the market where like people are selling like fruit and like foods and like different clothing like to make money. And we went down there and all these Mayan people just like turned and were like looking at me because they could tell like this guy is not from here. One, two, this guy is like dark skinned, this guy's black, so like there's no black people there at all. So they definitely knew me and my dad weren't from there. And I even remember being on like the bus going to another city in Guatemala, and I heard these two people talking about me in Spanish, and the girl's like, I think he might be Dominican, and the guy's like, no, he might be Cuban. There's some Cubans that come here a lot or whatever. So so they were wondering like where I was from and everything, but there's not a lot of black people there at all. So you definitely will stick out. But I mean, people are still nice for the most part. The only time I seen something kind of that seemed a little racist was when I went on a double date with my father and his wife and the girl they wanted me to like to marry. And we went on a double date to like some cave thing. It was like a tour where they take you inside of a cave, show you different monuments and things like that. And everyone was cool, but there was this one older guy that had this scowl on his face and he would not talk to us at all. Like we shook hands with everyone when we first got there, but he just stood in the back. He had like a mean look on his face, and it looked like he didn't really like me and my dad with like Guatemalan women or something. Like even my father said that guy gave him that impression too. But when we left, you know, we said bye to everyone. That guy did shake our hand and said bye, like everyone else said bye. But the whole time we were there, sitting there talking to the Guatemalans and having full conversation and everything, like the guy had a scowl. He didn't smile. He looked like he was just like mad, like these black dudes with our women or something like that. Like I felt that from him just from the look on his face and how he carried himself. But I didn't say it to my father. And then when we left, my dad said that like, yeah, that guy looked like he had an issue, you know, with us, you know, with the Guatemalan women or something like that. But you know, screw him. And I was like, yeah, I kind of noticed that too. But the other two guys that were with him, they were friendly, they were cool, they were nice. So that was the only thing I kind of witnessed. But my dad even told me like, yeah, no one's really going to mess with you out here in Guatemala because most of the men out there were small. They're either like really short and skinny or short and fat. No, I didn't see anyone like short and in shape or like big or like muscular where they could probably be like a threat if they attack you. All of the men there I saw were like short, like 5'6", 5'7", and below, and either short and skinny or short and fat. That was it.
Wow. So, but you're telling me that Guatemalan chicks in Belize are without a single doubt checking for brothers and black men.
Yeah, because even when I was in Kyle and I was on the phone with my mother on the in the middle of the street talking on the phone with my mother, and then like a bunch of them came out and like some dude put his arm like, hey, mi amigo, blah blah blah, like told me to come with him. I'm like, no, chill. One girl's like, hey, Poppy, like we're going to the club and stuff. And she was hot. It was like two girls, 2 or 3 girls in their group, and like 2 of them were looking at me like, hey, Poppy, coming. And I was like, I honestly regret it because I should have entertained it, but because my dad was trying to get me to marry this girl, and I'm like, let me not mess up my blessings. Like, let me just, you know, stick with the girl that my dad is trying to get me with, and not mess it up and meet another girl, and then I complicate things. I didn't entertain it, but yeah, the girl called me out like, hey, Poppy, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? Like come to the club with us and everything. And like these were just girls walking by, you know, and I'm by myself on the phone, and I'm like, what? You know, I did have a Belizean shirt on, like a shirt that had like the Belizean flag on it to let them people know, like, hey, I'm Belizean too. So, you know, like I don't know if maybe they thought I was like just a Belizean guy there chilling, or they knew us from somewhere else and they didn't know who I was, and so they're being friendly. But they definitely didn't know me, and they were being super friendly. And yeah, they're like, hey, Poppy, come with us to the club and everything. And I'm like, all right, I'll be there in a little bit. So yeah, and like I said, I'm a regular dark skinned black male, and they were showing me love.
Amazing, brother. So, but we are approaching 2-hour mark, brother.
Yeah.
How long do you have left, brother? Because we did agree on 2 hours.
Yeah, no, I still have some time. I'm good if you need to go a little bit more.
Okay, brother. Okay. We're gonna open up the phone lines soon. So, brother, so you're saying that the church is a serious thing in Belize. Women who are religious take it very seriously. Is what you're saying, bro?
Correct. Very correct.
Amazing. And brother, you're gone.
No, I was gonna say that is correct. Yeah, they definitely do take it seriously. Like I have in my family's more Christian, and like my parents, like from Belize, are well, my mother is Jehovah's Witness. So the Jehovah's Witnesses there, they're very conservative. It would be against the religion for a woman to be promiscuous. She would actually get kicked out of the religion, um or talked to first to change her ways if it was told that she's being promiscuous. And then if she continued it, she would be kicked out of the religion completely. So because not only does someone not want to be kicked out of the religion, it would also look bad on their family. And then if they're kicked out of the religion, their family is not even really supposed to be dealing with them until they ways and repent. So because of that, it gives an extra insurance, because if the woman wants to, be promiscuous or cheat on you, all you would really have to do is let the people from her congregation know that, hey, my wife is not being Christian. She's not following the values of the Bible. And they'll talk to her to let her know, like, hey, we heard this, what's going on, and make sure she's not doing it, and give her an opportunity to repent and change. But if it became something that she continued, she could be completely kicked out of the religion. And not only is she kicked out, they let everyone in the religion know that, hey, this sister is no longer part of the congregation. We can't even associate with her no more. So even people she knew from the religion that she was friends with, if they see her outside, they can't even speak to her anymore, because she's not a part of the good association. So it's an extra insurance for you as a man, because they know, hey, I'm not supposed to go against what's in the Bible. One, two, if I do go against this, it'll affect my life being kicked out of religion, and everyone that I love from the religion and associate with, I'll lose all my friends and association, and my own family members won't even be able to associate with me, or else they could get in in trouble with the congregation as well. So a lot of Christian religions that have that type of thing, it's good because it gives you an insurance, instead of you arguing with your woman about, hey, why are you dealing with this other guy? Why are you doing things that are messing up our family, and her arguing back with you. Once you see that, you can just say, okay, well, let me talk to the brothers of our congregation, and you'll have other people to reinforce what you're saying that's correct, and back you up in making sure that your wife isn't doing something immoral, or even your the woman that might be your fiance, that she's not doing something immoral. So I would definitely suggest something like religious wise, because it, like I said, if most women, if they don't have something to stop them from being bad, and they're getting a lot of opportunity to be bad, they might entertain that opportunity. Versus if they have a thing like, hey, if I make this move and people find out, it could really ruin my reputation and my family's reputation, and I'll never hear the end of it, and my life could completely change, and I could lose friends. It won't just be a quick, okay, I did something and now I can act like nobody knows about it, and I'll never tell my husband type of thing.
Amazing, brother. So I think I know who to target, right, in Belize. Church chicks who are religious, who obviously will most likely to be feminine, submissive under the eyes of God. Yes, brother, this is good intel. So, brother, it sounds like shame is a big thing there. Shame.
Yeah.
If you shame yourself, if you shame the family name, there's repercussions for that, brother. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes,
Ooh.
very much so. And like I said, not just in your city, not just in the country, Belizeans from outside of the country that might be related to you or be associated with your family or know your family, they will not only know the information, they'll know the detailed parts of it, what you did, how it was done, how it affected you, how it affected your life, everything, like detailed information that people will find out about what you did. So it's a big thing because, like I said, you'll have shame to the point of not just people you're seeing in your city. You might say, hey, well, let me move and go somewhere else. And you might meet Belizeans somewhere else. But, oh, wait, I know you're related to so-and-so. Because anytime you meet another Belizean, you have to ask them their last name, because you could be related to them, or their family knows your family. So anytime I meet a Belizean, we ask each other our last name. And even if I don't know the last name or know their family, I can go to like my parents or like my uncles or aunts and say the last name, and they can tell me someone they know from Belize with that last name, or they can tell me about their whole family. Like, yeah, I know that whole family. Like you're talking about like Bella Ramos. Yeah, I know the Bella Ramos. A lot of them are judges. I went to school with a couple of them. I know this person. I've been to carnivals and met someone from Belize and mentioned a name like, wait, I know so and so, and like they know like my aunt or something like that. So because it's so knit where people know each other, your information can be found out very easily. You know, like either from how your family is, what your family is known for, or or if you did something wrong. There's families from Belize that I talk to, like maybe like a relative or someone about, and like, oh yeah, I know them. All of them usually are this complex, and a lot of them are darker and they might look certain ways, or a lot of them are into doing crime, so you don't want to deal with them. Or that family, yeah, they're real big into like uh politics and the music industry. So yeah, they're big into like fashion stuff and stuff to make money and wealth and things like that. So that's why the reputation is so big, because just your last name and your family name and what your family is known for, that could make or break whether someone is telling their child to associate with you or not to associate with you, because your family's known for problems and issues and cheating and sleeping around, versus your family being known for being just, classy, having a good time, and being good people.
Amazing, brother. So, last question before I open the phone, brother. Right? Is the are the Guatemalan chicks in Brazil religious, brother?
In Belize,
Sorry,
you're saying in
in
Belize?
Belize.
Yeah.
In Belize. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. I would say like because it's a pretty much a mixed crowd. Like as far as the culture is, I mean, it really just depends on the woman herself. Like if she's going to church, I would say yeah. But if it's a woman that's not going to church or not associating with like really good people, um, no, no, because like I've met Guatemalan women that never been to a club, never been to like big parties, never been to anything like super fun, live in the house with their family their entire life, even though they're in their mid-20s, and they could still be super promiscuous, you know. That is there. So you don't want to go there thinking just because, all right, they're in a third world country or a poor country of Guatemala, that they're automatically going to be conservative. They're not going to sleep around or cheat. There's some women there that because they live in a small town, they end up sleeping with everyone in the town, you know, and the whole town knows that. So it definitely depends on her values, her family, and what her family's into. If her family's into like church and things like that, I would say yeah. But if it's a woman that just says like she loves God, but she never goes to church, never reads the Bible, never does anything that can give her consequences or make her feel a conscious for being promiscuous or sleeping around, they're gonna sleep around. Because I even had what was it? I think my taxi driver in Guatemala, he was even telling me like, hey, oh, you're from the US, and he was like, hey, I could introduce you to some girls if you want to meet some girls tonight, like tell me like some red light district type stuff or whatever. So I know that's out there because he brought it up, and I'm just like, nah, I'm going to my hotel. I'm fine, but appreciate it. So I know it's out there. But I mean, even when I got off the plane and I was in Guatemala, there were women like checking me out. You know, like regular Guatemalan women. I saw them like looking at me like, oh, like what is this? Like this guy's completely different from everyone we see out here. And like I wave at them, they wave at me giggling and stuff like that. So the women are they're hot, they are nice, they're friendly, but you have to do your homework, because you can't just think like, okay, because she's more from a lifestyle where she doesn't go to the club at all, that she's going to be a good girl. She can still be promiscuous. She can still be sleeping around. So it really has to be a girl that, you know, like, okay, I understand you never went to a club before, but what do you do with your life? Are you going to school for something? Are you trying to work for something? Like what exactly are you trying to do? And another thing I'll say with Guatemalan women, do not lead with your wallet, because if they know you as a man with money and American money, they're gonna milk you. They're gonna come up with all type of stories of, oh, I need money for this, oh, I need money for that, or this happened. Can you help me out? That will happen. I definitely experienced some of that and saw some of that, and I had to make sure I didn't get involved, and use or anything like that. But it is there. So you can't go there blind thinking, okay, just because they're in a different country, they're not used to like the West, that they're going to be less promiscuous, not want to be gold diggers, not going to be someone to manipulate and use you for your money or lie. You have to do your due diligence.
Bro, that's interesting that we said don't need be wanted, bro. But I would say, but part of the allure of Western men for foreign women is that we're seen as having more money, more status, more wealth, right? So, but in your opinion, how do passport bros, right, not lead with their wallet? How do we do things? Obviously, but like we go on a date with a foreign chick, I'm gonna pay. You're gonna pay for your foreign chick, right, for a coffee or a dinner. So in most cases, right? But is that seen with your wallet? How does a passport brother not lead with his wallet, brother? How do we pay for things but not seen as leading with a wallet? What's your opinion on that thought there, brother?
Great question. One, you definitely want to find out about the woman, like what type of girl she is. Like I said, if she's a girl that has been going to school, if she's been working, or if it's a girl that's never had a job. Definitely if it's a girl that's never had a job, you're going to have issues with her, not just wanting you to pay for stuff. The issue is sometimes they'll want you to pay for stuff for their family or help out their family with something as well, where their family might know, oh, she's dating a guy from the US, and the girl's family might try to influence her to try to, get you to spend some money or something like that. So definitely, like you said, if you're going out with a girl, yeah, you're going to pay for the date and everything, and let her know you don't have any issue being a provider, but you definitely have to let her know, like, hey, I have no problem being a provider, but I want to be clear, I'm not a guy that's stupid, that, a girl's just going to lie to me and use me for my money like I'm an idiot. So I definitely want to make sure, like, if I'm getting with you, what type of woman you are and what do you bring to the table? Like, are you interested in being a wife and getting married, having children, going to church with me, having conservative values? Or do you feel like you more want to be promiscuous and do certain things? Also, seeing how she dresses. If she dresses like real promiscuous, a lot, you do want to be careful, because it is a little bit more conservative there as well. So if she's dressing a little provocative, then she might be a certain type of woman and maybe just not letting you know. So mainly, like, when you talk to her, you want to see how big her family is, see her relationship with her family. Make sure it's not a situation where, like, okay, she has a single mom she's living with and they're struggling, because they're more than likely going to want to ask you to help out with, like, the mom and other people as well. But if you meet someone that's decent, she works a little bit, she has a little odd job here and there, maybe she does hair for the girls in her town, something like that, you can work with that. And, she has her own money that she works with. So of course you're going to be the provider, but she may not be a gold digger, because she knows the value of a dollar and can appreciate you being a good man trying to help out. In Guatemala, the American dollar is $6. So your money does go further in Guatemala than Belize. And you can do a lot more. And you can kind of live like a king if, like, if $1, $6. That means, like, if you go with 1,000, that's $6,000 out there. And I believe the cost of living there is pretty cheap as well. But with any girl out there, like I said, the main thing is to really understand her background. How does she live her day-to-day life? Like, are you waking up every morning, going to work or going to school, and you have goals, like, once you're done? Or if this is just a girl that doesn't work at all, just wakes up every day, chilling, doesn't really do anything. Because, like, there's a saying, the idle hands are the devil's work. So this could be a girl that, she wakes up every morning, she doesn't work, doesn't do anything, but what is she doing with her full day? Is she going out meeting men? Is she going out meeting women? Is she going out, partying and doing crazy stuff, whatever that you want to approve of? You definitely have to do your due diligence. It's just that they don't have as much of a, they don't have like a bunch of nightclubs, and they have some from what I've been seeing online, but they don't have like a bunch of nightclubs and things like that where most Guatemalan women are going to be like in the club every night and doing a bunch of crazy stuff. So it's going to be a little bit harder to know what type of woman she is unless you do your due diligence and really get to know her and her family.
Would you say the average Guatemalan chick brother has a higher body count or low body count from what you've observed in Belize?
From what I've observed, they do have a decent body count.
Jeez.
Because there was a beautiful girl that my dad knew. Like she was like a blonde Guatemalan, like had green eyes. She had beautiful thick body, and I'm like, wow, like, and I'm like, that one I want to talk to. Like she just looked like completely exotic and like kind of like beautiful body and everything. And I'm like, she's Guatemalan? Like, yeah, I'd be interested in her. But my dad was like, no, like you would have problems dating her. Like she's real promiscuous and a lot of guys are after her. And I know she's already messed with a lot of guys. And that girl was probably at the time like maybe 25 or some 24, 25, something like that, I believe. And she was super promiscuous. And it was just really like, yeah, she had a nice body and had pretty eyes and everything. And all the men probably in her town wanted her. So that's what I mean. Like, yeah, they may not be going to like clubs or nothing like that, but they might be one of the most beautiful women in their small town where all the men in the small town want to get with her and they'll try to sleep with her and they might get to sleep with her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even if they have conservative parents, because like that girl I'm speaking of, my father even let me know, like, yeah, she's pretty, but the father caught her sleeping with men in their house, and her parents are conservative, but she just waited for the dad to be gone and brought a guy in there. Even though this is a girl like in her 20s, still staying at home with the parents are still like, hey, we're conservative, but she's sneaking men in the house to sleep with.
God damn, what? Yeah. Yo, flipping heck, bruv. Good. Yo, that's wild, man. That's utterly disrespectful. Some of these chicks are moving wild out here, bro. So, brother, tell me, so you mentioned that it's conservative country, right? But it's also a hot country, brother, right? So how do Belize women dress that, brother, in the hot weather? Are they wearing long dresses or are they wearing mini skirts? Are they showing their stomach, their belly button, crop tops like these silly Western chicks wear in the West? Break it down for us, bro.
Yeah, I didn't really see a lot of that there. I mean, definitely like if they're women that go to church, like long dresses. But for the most part, when I was down there, I saw women wearing shorts, but not like short shorts like hoochie shorts or anything like that. Like definitely like more regular shorts, like not too like a little higher than the kneecap type shorts, but not. I didn't see anything where like cheeks are hanging out or like you can see body parts or things like that. I didn't see any of that. Not even when we were in Belize City, there was a part where we're walking down, like, I think like their downtown area. There were people playing music. I want to say there were people selling stuff or something, but we walked by like a bunch of restaurants, bunch of stores, and I'm passing by all these people. Like, I don't know if you ever been like to like a major city, like where you're walking on the sidewalk, passing by like a bunch of people like on the sidewalk, that type of situation. And all the women I remember seeing either had like long dresses or shorts, but like I said, they were longer shorts. I didn't see anyone where I felt like, hey, I'm seeing like a lot of thighs or rear end. I don't even remember seeing anything where you could see a lot of cleavage. Maybe like on the dresses where like regular dresses on the woman on her top half, but not anything where I could say like it was like you could see skin or see like a lot of like body parts or anything like that. It was definitely more on the conservative side, I'd say.
Amazing, brother. Amazing. So let's open up the phone lines, brother. Brother, and let me know, brother, if you have to go or if you're tired, brother. But let's go on for another, let's say 15, 20 more minutes, brother. So brothers, call in if you have any questions for our guests. This has been a classic live stream. Thank you, Mr. Chris, for this incredible breakdown, bro. You've broken it down to an absolute T. I'm looking forward to Puerto Rico in the future because you broke it down very well for us for Belize, brother. So brothers, call in if you have any questions about Belize. And can we keep on topic? I don't want to hear anything else. Yeah. I only want to hear about Belize, brothers. So don't call in and start speaking about your personal issues or any other country. No. Keep it only about Belize women, life in Brazil, cost of living. Keep it only about Belize, please, okay? No swearing, no N-word use, no crazy talk, no SCS talk. Keep it PG. You break the rules, I will ban you off rip, okay? If you can't call in, send your questions in a PayPal donation or super chat donation, okay? I'm gonna give you about a couple minutes for y'all to call in. Incredible, brother. So, brother, what is your plan for Belize then? Are you going to put that in the back burner? Do you want to retire there? Do you want to move there in the future when you leave the West, brother, particularly America? What's your plan for Belize, bro?
Yeah, I'm actually going there later this year. Me and my mother are going to look at some land there because since her friend went there last week, I believe, she's looking at land and getting land, I guess, near where her son lives, and they're looking to build a property out there. So we're planning on going out there to look at, the land that they're getting, the property, to see what options we have out there. I'm planning on getting my citizenship there as well because when I went in 2019 with my father, they told me because I'm of Belizean descent, I can actually become a Belizean citizen. So that'll help me with getting loans or getting decent prices on like land. I think they have a bank there that I seen where they actually have deals where they actually you could like get a loan where you can get a 10-year or 15-year loan where they'll build a property for you on land and then you're just making payments on the property itself for either 10 or 15 years. And the payments were pretty cheap when I saw them, but this was like I said, 2019. I don't know if they went up, but I'm planning on going there to get my citizenship, look at some property, and get a property and try to see if I can build something there where I can Airbnb it where I'm not there, and then maybe either move there permanently and build some more Airbnbs, or keep traveling and just have income coming in from that property. I would possibly live there, so I do want to go to some of the other cities I didn't visit yet to see if I want to like live there like completely like for the rest of my life. But I just don't know if I would like. I'm still going to be traveling. Like I said, I was just in Dominican Republic, so I am still traveling to see. Okay, do I meet a wifey in another country and then me and her marry and retire in Belize? Because I can pretty much, buy a property. I'm sorry, buy land, build a property, and then that way I don't have to worry about mortgage. For the long term because I can pay off that 10 to 15-year loan that they have for the payments pretty quick because the payments are pretty low. So that's my goal right now. This year, we're going to go down there and look at some property and get my citizenship finally, and see if I can possibly start getting some land and build something down there.
Amazing stuff, bro. Awesome. Hope it goes very well for you, bro.
Thank you.
So, brothers, if y'all don't call in the next minute or two, we're gonna wrap up the stream. It is 2:37 a.m. over here in the UK. I can't stay on for too long. I got to work at 7:30 a.m. in the morning. So now's the time to call in. I'm gonna give you brothers 2 minutes to get that done. If y'all don't call in, we're gonna wrap up the stream and have a great week ahead. Thank you, bro, for the great breakdown, Mr. Chris, man. It's much appreciated, man. Honestly, coming from a Belizean himself, who's lived there, got family there, etc., is as authentic, pure, and legitimate as it can be. Okay, super awesome, brother. Super awesome. Okie dokie.
Yeah.
So let me just check the panel. All right, callers. Shout out to Mr. Darian for the support. 1 to 10 on the wife scale. How are Belizean women? Also, what's the percentage of those women compared to the general population? Fire rate.
So how are Belizean women on a 1 to 10, and what's the percentage of those women compared to the general population? Okay. On a wife scale, like I said, the main thing is if you're looking for a soft, feminine, not really ever really arguing type woman versus a woman that could kind of have a little bit of a harder exterior and give you more pushback, and you might have to break down a couple walls to kind of get her to get on your page. But then when you do, she's not gonna cheat and be pretty much a good mother to watch the kids. On a scale from 1 to 10, I would say, with 10 being the best wife, 1 being the absolute worst, I would say 6. I would say 6 because, like I said, the fact that more of them are going to, from my experience, I've seen a lot of them be loyal and not really be the type to cheat. But you could be, if you're the guy that's going to pay all the bills, then you're good. If you're looking 50-50, I think then you're going to be dealing with a lot of arguing and stuff like that back. But if she knows, like, hey, you're the provider, you're covering everything, she needs to keep you happy so that way you keep paying these bills. You could get a wifey that down there that's beautiful, but like I said, they will have a little bit of a harder exterior compared to like a Colombian woman or like a Puerto Rican woman or something like that. So if you're used to those type of women, you will see the difference. But like I said, they could be wifey in the sense where they'll definitely cook and clean the house. They're very big on not keeping the house dirty. They're definitely big on cooking for the family and things like that. So they do have those values there, but it's just that you may be dealing with like arguing and fighting from time to time over stupid stuff. So definitely a 6.
Awesome. Awesome.
Oh, and
awesome.
just
All right.
the percentage of those women compared to the general population. As far as the general population of all women, the wifey types, I would say out of 100%, the wifey types would maybe be, I would say 45. Can you hear me guys?
Loud and clear, brother.
Okay, you still would be like on like I'll say like 40-45% as far as the general population, because you do have a good population of women and men that just like to party out there. So there are going to be some that just want to party, drink, and stuff like that. So that is there, but you still can find like a girl, like I said, either from church or that's more conservative and doesn't want her family name messed up, to be like a wifey type, just depending on where you live.
Awesome. All right, brother, let's wrap up the stream. Mr. Chris, thank you, brother, for calling in today, brother. Much appreciated, brother. Do you have any closing statements, Chris, before I end the stream?
No, definitely. Thank you so much for the opportunity and for time. It was great speaking with you, and I want to thank you guys both. I love seeing you and Theo, talk, because you both have different things that you bring to the table, and I loved how when you told him like the ratio of men to women there, and he's like, that's bad. He's like, that sounds like either the men are getting eaten up by monsters or they're running away. Like that doesn't seem good. And he was on point. He was exactly right, because he's like, yeah, like there are some men that don't really want to deal with a woman with a hard exterior. So he was right with what he said. It was so funny seeing that with you guys both talking about it. But you guys are saving a lot of lives. There's statistics showing like a lot of men are unaliving themselves in the West, and you guys are showing men, hey, there's another way. You can work hard, get your career, and you can travel the world. If you're not happy in the West, don't take yourself out. You have other opportunities. There's other ways you can live. There's other women you can meet. There's other opportunities. So if no one ever tells you guys are doing a great job for men. Thank you for helping men and showing men a better way and showing them there's an opportunity that's outside of what they're seeing.
Wow, Chris, thank you for the kind words, bro. Thank you for the kind words. Now we know why there's there's some sort of ratio going on where dudes ain't wifing up Belize chicks like that. It's like a lot of Belize chicks are very hard-headed, and men are like, forget this. I'm gonna get me a Guatemalan chick. So I'm guessing that's true, but there must be high marriages between Belize men and Guatemalan chicks, right?
Wait, say that again?
There must be high marriages between Belize men and Guatemalan chicks.
Yeah. There's that, and Mexican too, Guatemalan and Mexican.
So, brother, there's Mexican chicks in Belize as well.
Yeah, there's some not a high population of them, but yeah, there's a lot of them that there's a decent amount that come there as well.
Wow, incredible, Chris. Thank you, brother. Much appreciated.
Definitely.
So carry on.
Welcome. And I look forward to speaking to you on the Puerto Rican cast interview as well. So I'll definitely have some juice for you as well there when we talk about that.
Thank you, man. Do you want to finish your Mexican point? I cut you off there, unfortunately. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying. Yeah, there's a decent amount of Mexicans, but yeah, like it definitely, like you said, it's more so with the Guatemalans. Even my uncle married a Guatemalan, so I have like Guatemalans in my family through marriage. So yeah, it definitely is a lot of Belizean men and Guatemalan women.
Awesome. Yo, thank you, brother. So, brothers, great stream. Let me know what you thought in the comment section below. Join the Patreon if to more insight about Belize chicks, book your IT consultations, cop the match, and of course, even after the stream, hit the PayPal donation and show support. I will see you, brothers, on the next stream, brothers. Look after yourselves and